Don't forget the light so you guys can see me. Okay, they too. Amber came in looking like she's in some type of in the army with her army blazer her military blazer or whatever. Looking like the good little soldier. And I noticed I was gonna bitch and fucking scream at the top of my lungs. Yo, she fucking, the people driving her almost parked in a fucking handicap spot. They blocked not one, but two handicap spots, letting her into the courtroom. And it's a different car that she had. She couldn't freaking come in this same car. And Johnny was there first. And everyone's been waiting on Amber.
Okay, all right. So 214 will be in evidence. All right, do you want to get the witness?
She finally arrived. People were waiting on her. Well, Johnny was waiting. Everyone had to wait on the blonde bitch. Sorry about yesterday. I had to put together a freaking entertainment center with the boyfriend. Sorry, it took so long.
Mr. Rottenberg, you're going to get me 214 after.
So I apologize for that, for not being there for most of the stream.
No, there's 210. This is 214. Okay, I just want to make sure.
We'll put it up on the screen.
You won't let me go upstairs to turn the screen off.
All right, we ready for the jury? You ready for the jury? Yes.
Okay. There must be problems with the camera because seriously, beforehand they did that color-coded thing, different screen thing and everything. The camera kept going up and down. I don't know what that was all about, but hopefully there ain't gonna be no glitches. Because I want to see Amber freaking mood change from, oh, pity me, to I'm a bitch. She ain't even standing at first. What the fuck? The lawyer had to tell her to get the fuck up. Such disrespect. I noticed that. I'm sorry, she looks like she's freaking in the Navy with that outfit. Like she's ready for war.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. All right, you can have a seat, Mr. Brodsky. Mr. Brodsky, I just want to remind you that you're still under oath at this time, okay? All right, you want to continue with your cross-examination?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Dombrowski.
Good morning.
So I believe we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but you were, in addition to being Mr. Depp's brother, you were his, I believe you referred to it as his personal manager, is that right?
I have been referred to it, yes.
Okay. And so you were responsible for, or had some responsibility for his business affairs, right?
I actually coordinated with other people, but I didn't have full responsibility.
Right, but in terms of the information that you would receive, you would receive information that was relevant to Mr. Depp's business affairs and personal affairs, right?
At times, yes.
And you care about Mr. Depp's well-being, right?
Of course.
Yes.
He's your brother.
Yes.
You love him, right? It was important to you that you, in your role as both his brother and as his manager, be kept informed of his well-being, right?
Yes.
And if something was wrong, you'd want to know about that, right?
Yes.
Did you ever have reason to believe from anyone other than Amber that Mr. Depp had a problem with drugs or alcohol?
No.
Did you ever have reason to believe from someone other than Amber that Mr. Depp romanticized drug culture?
No,
Did you ever have reason to believe from anyone other than Amber that Mr. Depp didn't take accountability for his actions?
I didn't have reason to believe that, no.
Did you ever have reason to believe from anyone other than Amber that Mr. Depp lacked patience for getting his needs met?
I didn't have reason to believe that.
Did you ever have reason to believe from someone other than Amber that Mr. Depp could act like a child if he didn't get immediate satisfaction? I'm asking if she had.
I'll rule out about it. That's fine.
Let me ask that again, Ms. Dombrowski. Did you ever have reason to believe from anyone other than Amber that Mr. Depp could act like a child if he didn't get immediate satisfaction?
Overruled for this question. Let's see if the public.
I'm sorry?
Did you ever have reason to believe from someone other than Amber that Mr. Depp could act like a child if he didn't get immediate satisfaction?
I never had reason to believe that.
Did you ever have reason to believe from someone other than Amber that Mr. Depp had fundamental issues with anger?
Okay.
I should love her. I just wanted to do this for him.
Reason to believe from someone other than Amber that your brother had fundamental issues with anger?
I didn't have reason to believe.
And did you ever have reason to believe from someone other than Amber that your brother didn't grasp the responsibility that he had in his children's lives?
I did not have reason to believe.
Heather, can you pull up Exhibit 268, please? Ms. Dombrowski, is this an email from Dr. David Kipper to you on August 18th, 2014?
It's not being offered yet, so I'll rule objection.
I don't have it.
Can you see the document on your screen?
You might have to make it bigger.
I don't have it.
Oh,
I'm
Can you
sorry.
see it there, ma'am?
it's not showing.
They're having technical difficulties.
Just go with this 1 minute, thank you.
Help her out. Don't you love technology? Don't you love technology?
Do you have a physical copy that you can?
Not that's not marked up. Let me, can you see if I can grab one?
Oh, wait, she said.
Oh, okay.
Turns off and on. See?
That's the trick.
That's the trick.
Thank you. Take as much time as you need to read it, Ms. Dombrowski, but my question is this an email from Dr. David Kipper to you on August 18th, 2014?
Yes, it's got my name on it, yes.
And this is an email that you would have received on or about that date, August 18th, 2014, to the best of your knowledge?
It was sent on that day, yes.
And it's about Dr. Kipper's treatment of your brother, correct?
I'm actually reading it.
Okay, take your time. Thank you.
Wish I can read what's is said in that through her glasses. Since there's a reflection, but you can't really. Come on, girlfriend. Read faster.
Is there, I'm sorry, is there more to the?
There's another page, which we can go to, but my question is just this, and I think we established this. This is an email that you received from Dr. Kipper, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to publish the second paragraph on page 1 into and then the remainder of that paragraph on page 2 with everything redacted, else redacted.
You're asking to enter into evidence.
Yes, we'd like to enter it into evidence with those redactions.
Sure.
I'm sure I knew what they were saying. I swear, all she needs is the little military hat or whatever that they wear. And she looks like she belongs in the Navy or the military or something. Like she's a Few Good Men. Like she has a part in the Few Good Men with Tom Cruise. I mean, come on. Oh my God, Amber. You're looking like a little toy soldier.
Ms. Dombrowski, if you can take a look at the first page of that email, please. In the second paragraph. Well, first of all, who was Dr. Kipper?
Dr. Kipper was the doctor that was helping my brother, helping my brother get help from the pain medication addiction that he had.
He was helping with his drug addiction.
The pain medication.
He's trying to put
your
words
brother
in
was
his.
addicted to pain pills.
He had been taking them for a long time, yes.
Right. And you were instrumental in hiring Dr. Kipper to help your brother try to deal with that, right?
Yes.
And so Dr. Kipper, in his role as
Saying
someone
it
treating
was
your brother,
drugs. He's trying to
keep you informed
spin the
of
word a
what's
little
going on
bit.
with that treatment, right?
Yes.
And it was important to you as both his brother, his sister, and his manager that you be kept informed of that, right?
It was important as his sister.
And well, and his issues with drugs were having an impact on his career as well, too, right?
No.
And you knew that they were having an impact on his relationship with Amber, right? She's given plenty of testimony about that. You knew that the drugs were having an impact on his relationship with Amber, right?
I knew that Amber claimed certain things.
But you didn't believe that they were?
I didn't necessarily believe it, no.
Okay. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Isn't it true that on the bottom paragraph on page 1, that Dr. Kipper informed you that your brother was uncomfortable and pessimistic that he will ever be able to stop doing drugs? I'm not asking this.
I'll allow this question. That's the only question. Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Isn't it true that Dr. Kipper informed you in August of 2014 that your brother was uncomfortable and is pessimistic that he will ever be able to stop doing drugs?
He does write this in this email, but this email is an update after, if I'm looking at the dates, and I don't remember all dates, but I know that period and what's written in the email. I think this was during the time that they were, where he was getting help from Dr. Kipper.
Right, but that's what he informed you of in your role as his manager and his sister about the status of Mr. Depp's belief that he would be able to stop doing drugs, right?
I'll allow that question.
I think he was informing me of the conversations, yes.
And he also informed you that your brother didn't take accountability for his behaviors, correct?
He does say in here that yes, he wrote that he has no accountability for his behaviors in this time.
And Heather, if you go to the top of page 2, please. In that first and second line, he also told you that your brother has fundamental issues with anger, right? Same exception that applied to the other ones. This is what he informed her.
We need to move on.
You're
You
dwelling.
take that down. So you just testified,
Told them to move on.
Ms. Dombrowski, that you understood from Amber that drugs and alcohol were impacting their relationship, but that you didn't necessarily believe that, right?
No.
And you didn't necessarily share those concerns, right?
Right.
Did you have an occasion to speak with Amber after a plane flight from Boston to Los Angeles in May of 2014? I just asked if she spoke with her. I'm not asking what the context.
Spoke all over the objection this time.
I don't recall specific times speaking with Amber like that.
Did you become aware of an incident on a plane flight from Boston to Los Angeles in May of 2014?
Foundation objection.
She's testified that she.
I'll sustain the objection. It's foundation if you can lay a foundation. So,
If something happened in your brother's life that was notable, you wanted to know about it. You testified to that, right?
Love it.
It's a
They're
foundation
blocking
issue. She's
him
testified in something that is-
on that one.
I don't see it as a foundation question, so I'm going to sustain the objection if you want.
You
Nice one, Judge.
were kept apprised of the goings on in Johnny's life, correct?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah, and you testified yesterday. You saw him just about every day, correct?
When what I testified to yesterday, saw him every day was when he was with the family, Vanessa.
And you still saw him, or were in touch with him fairly frequently as his business manager and as his sister when he was with Amber, correct?
Less frequent,
Okay, but still with some frequency, right?
yes.
And if an event had happened that was potentially harmful to your brother, you would want to know about that, right?
Yes.
And
All right, I'll sustain asked and answered. Next question.
you made an effort to make yourself available to Miss Heard to talk to you about issues she was having with your brother, correct?
I'm excuse me, I made an effort to talk to her anytime I felt she needed to speak.
Okay, whose phone's going off?
Somebody's trying to call us.
It's kind of a pleasant ringtone.
I didn't answer it, so. I don't know.
That was funny.
Ms. Dombrowski, in addition to just Amber believing it, you believed that your brother needed help, didn't you?
Okay.
You believe that your brother needed help with drugs and alcohol, didn't you?
Overruled objection.
I believed on the one medication I was concerned about.
And you wanted your brother to get better from his addictions, right?
I wanted to address the medication that he was on.
And you understood that Amber wanted the same thing, wanted him to get better for both him and for her, correct?
I'm sustaining as to what Amber wanted.
Now, do you recall meeting with Ms. Heard on May 25th, 2014?
I don't recall.
Let's pull up Exhibit 234, please.
You said that was 234?
234, yes. The non-redacted version. Ms. Dombrowski, this is a multi-page exhibit that we can, we're not going to ask you about all the pages, but is this a text message chain between Amber and you on May 25th, 2014?
Yes,
And those are your texts in gray on the left, right?
yes,
And Ms. Heard's texts in blue on the right?
yes.
Your Honor, we have a version of this exhibit with Ms. Heard's text redacted and the personal identifiers redacted that I'd like to ask the witness about and publish to the jury. I'm happy.
First, you want to admit it to evidence before you publish it to the jury.
Correct,
So
right. So I'm just previewing that. Would you like me to go through the unredacted version with the witness first?
No.
Or
Well, if it's just her text, how is that probative if it's just her text?
because it's her text about what two things. One, it's her text about what she wanted for her brother. We'll get to those on page 2. I'm allowed to ask her about her own words and what her feelings sort
You
of
can
are.
ask her about it, but it's not coming into evidence.
Okay. Ms. Dombrowski, did you reach out to Ms. Heard on May 25th, 2014,
Yes,
asking her if she wanted to talk?
yes.
Why did you do that?
I
Did you do that because you had been made aware of an issue about your brother's behavior on a flight earlier that day, the day before?
I don't recall why I did that.
You don't recall why you did that?
No,
You have no awareness or memory of a flight earlier that day or the day before?
I don't recall all flights at all times. I don't have any specific memory of anything.
If you can turn to page 2, Heather. If you can look at your third text down, Your Honor, or Ms. Dombrowski, you say to him, or to Ms. Heard, you say to Ms. Heard, I love him so much, but he needs help, and I don't have all the information to help alone. Do you see that?
I'll allow that question. That's fine.
So I do see that.
And what did you mean when you said he needs help?
I don't recall the actual timing of it, but I wanted to help him with that medication that he was on. That I know. And I know that I wanted to be able to be helpful in life because they were arguing all the time.
And I believe you testified earlier that you didn't actually have concerns about your brother's dependence on drugs, right?
No, I said that I did have about the medication.
Just the pain pills,
It was the pain pills.
nothing else.
I didn't have concern.
And so when you said he needs help, that's what you were referring to, is that you believe that your brother needed help with pills. May I approach, Your Honor?
All right.
He's trying to make it out like he's some drug dealing drug hoe, and the sister is plainly saying that he did not have any other problems other than with the prescription pain pills. Because he was getting addicted to it, and he knew he had a problem with it. So him and his sister were getting the help.
Heather, can you please pull up the pages ending in 934? Start with that, please. Actually, let's go to 936.
Just for the record, this is still in exhibit 234. It's just base stamp for page 936. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Dombrowski, do you see the message that you sent to Amber 3 down where you said he is going to see the doctor in the morning with 3 exclamation points?
Yes.
Tell me what you remember about that. Were you referring to, when you said he, you were referring to your brother, right?
Yes.
And by doctor, you meant an addiction doctor. Is that right?
I believe I would have meant Dr. Kipper.
And what was, it's you'd agree that it's fairly rare to get an appointment for a doctor the next day, right?
I'll allow it.
I don't know that it's rare to get an appointment the next day.
Dr. Kipper wasn't an emergency room doctor, right?
No.
So what was so urgent about your brother's need to see a doctor that he was going to see Dr. Kipper the next morning when you texted this at 7:35 p.m.?
I don't know that it was urgent. I think I was happy that he was going to see the doctor.
And you were happy he was going to see the doctor because you thought he finally realized the problem that his drug addiction was having on himself and others, correct? That's why you were happy, right?
I was happy he was going to see the doctor because I was concerned about the pain medication he was on.
And you were concerned about what that pain medication did to your brother, right?
Yes.
You were concerned about the effect that had on his life, right?
I was concerned about him.
And you were concerned about the effect that drug addiction had on other relationships in his life as well, correct? I'm going through.
That's fine. I'll allow it.
You can answer.
I didn't see anything that was happening necessarily in life to be concerned about others, me. It was him I was concerned about.
So you didn't see, your testimony today is that you didn't see any effect that your brother's drug problem was having on anyone else other than him.
My concern was him. I wasn't focused on anything beyond that.
Right. You weren't concerned about the effect that it could be having on anyone else. Is that your testimony?
Again, my concern was him.
Can you pull up page 937, please?
Yeah, it's not gonna let some fucking pissant.
And
I'm gonna
when
chase
you
her freaking her over, man.
misheard the text at the top of the page at 9:20 p.m. on May 25th, 2014, and you said, "I just meant I will help in getting him help." What did that mean?
With the prescription pain pill.
It's help with Dr. Kipper, I believe.
Yeah.
You were referring to getting your brother help for his drug addictions, correct?
I was referring to getting him help with the medication that he was on.
And if you go to page 938, please. When you told Amber at the bottom of that page at 10:26 p.m., I think you need to tell him you are scared and you can't deal. What did you mean by that? I think you need to tell him you are scared and you can't deal. What did you mean by that? asking her what she meant with one of her statements. It's no different from the statement I just asked her about.
I'm just not sure what the prior inconsistent statement would be for this, which was,
Well, that she testified that all of Amber's concerns were overblown.
okay.
Drug abuse. You were concerned for your brother and your brother only. Is that right?
I was concerned for my brother, yes.
And only your brother. Is that right?
My brother was my focus.
Now, you, as in your capacity as his personal manager, you were often apprised of your brother's performance on movie sets, right? Did you have occasion to communicate with studios, for example, about movies that your brother was shooting?
Yes,
And studio executives could feel free to contact you about your brother's work?
yes, they mostly contacted the agent.
Okay. And who was the agent at the time? Is that Tracy Jacobs? And that's your brother, Mr. Depp, fired Miss Jacobs in or around 2017. Is that right?
I don't recall when.
How long was Miss Jacobs his agent?
20-something years.
And he fired Miss Jacobs at some point, right?
Yes.
After his divorce from Amber?
I don't recall exactly when he fired.
Do you recall whether it was before or after he divorced Amber?
I don't recall. Sorry.
But in any event, you had frequent communications with Miss Jacobs about your brother's work, correct?
Excuse me.
And you, in the course, in your capacity as his manager, it came to your attention that he was late to movie sets, correct? You testified that you had frequent contact with Ms. Jacobs, his agent, right?
Yes,
And that contact included when he was shooting movies?
yes,
And that contact included communications relating to his conduct on set? Light information.
Well, it sounds like your foundation is going to be based on hearsay, which is what we're going to be getting to.
Well,
If you can lay a foundation
Yeah.
without it being based on hearsay.
did you have personal knowledge of your brother being late to a set? Movie shoots?
would that be if I was physically there? Is that what you're asking? Or
Your Honor, no, first I'd ask you to instruct Mr. Chu not to shake his head and nod his head to the witness. That's inappropriate.
Okay.
Which was.
All right. Well, I'll keep a lookout.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Ms. Dombrowski, your brother told you himself that he was late to movie shoots, didn't he? Pardon me.
I'll allow that.
I don't think he came to me and said I'm late to movie shoots. No,
You learned from your brother that he was late to movie shoots, correct?
I don't think he would come to me to talk about it. No,
You learned, so you never had any communications with your brother about issues that he had being on time to movie sets? Is that your testimony?
no. What I'm saying is I worked with him for years. You know, there was never really a continuous topic of whether he was late to a movie set. Him and I having a conversation.
He told you he had been late to movie sets, correct?
I'll sustain the objection. Next
Can you
question.
pull us 348, please?
348.
If you can you blow it up so you just see the second email down, Heather? And that second email down is an email from you to Tracy Jacobs on February 27th, 2015, right?
I allowed that question. Let's see where we go.
The second, all the way down in here.
The second one down from the top. Sent at 12:50.
Yeah, that's coming into.
Now, in the second sentence of that email, you write, he told me 1 to 1.5 hours, but not 2. Yes, he was 2.5 hours late one day and 7 hours recently. Do you see that?
I do see that.
And when you said he told me, you're referring to your brother, Johnny Depp, admitting to you that he was late to movie sets, right?
I don't know what I'm referring to now.
In any event, it was a problem.
It doesn't say
His
who
personal
it's from.
manager, he knew that it was a problem for the studios.
So
if he
that
showed
could
up
help
late to
them?
set, right?
I knew that on this particular film, there were times when he was late to set.
You did know on this particular
On
film,
this particular film.
and this particular film is Pirates 5, correct?
Yes.
Pirates of the Caribbean 5? And he was filming that in Australia, right?
Yes.
And this email was sent on February 27th, 2015, right?
Yes.
So you knew that as he was filming Pirates of the Caribbean 5 in 2015, early 2015, that he had problems being late to the set, right?
I wouldn't call it problems being late to set, but he was occasionally late to set.
Late enough that Disney executives called you to discuss that, right?
All right. I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
And you knew that this wasn't the only movie that he had been late to set for, correct? She testified about her close involvement in his personal affairs when he was shooting movies.
Maybe you could lay a foundation, not based on hearsay.
You talked to your brother when he was filming each of the movies that he filmed, right?
Yes.
And with respect to Pirates 5, he told you that he'd been late to the set, right?
No, I don't recall him telling me he was late to set.
Okay, so despite the fact that you said he told me, you don't recall whether that was him or not.
I don't know that. I don't know that the he in that refers to him.
You were also, I believe you testified yesterday. that
She's
you were
lucky she
closely
didn't say
involved
Johnny's
in,
name in those
in
things.
the financial
Because
aspects
there's
of
a
your brother's life.
because
right?
now she can cover his ass by saying that. God,
I was closely involved in speaking with the representatives, but I wasn't really closely involved in, his financial world. I wasn't working involved.
And your brother's, the income that he made from
I need a
movies
block.
or other commercial opportunities that he had, that funded of him and it flowed, or it came in through his companies, right? And then the money that your brother made came in through his companies, correct?
I don't really understand your question.
Well, you're the president of one of those companies, Infinitive Nile, right?
Yes.
So if your brother signs a movie contract, the money, is it paid directly to him or is it coming through a company that he owns?
Infinite Nile is completely a separate entity, so how he gets paid is that's the business managers.
Okay, you were involved with discussions of opportunities that he had to shoot movies, correct?
Sometimes, yes.
And you were in close contact with others on Mr. Depp's team about opportunities that arose, right?
Yes.
Okay, including Tracy Jacobs,
Yes.
his agent,
Yes.
including, in fact, you would be in contact with studios directly as well from time to time, right?
Yes.
And Mr. Jacobs, well, strike that. In your capacity as his personal manager, you became aware of financial distress that your brother was in, correct? Because you were familiar with his financial affairs, right?
I was somewhat familiar. That was the other representative's area.
Did you have occasion to become familiar with whether he was undergoing financial distress such that he needed to get movies, a certain number of movies a year?
Tracy had a certain number, a certain number of movies per year that she wanted him to do.
And the certain number of movies a year, to your understanding, the certain number of movies a year that your brother had to do was necessary to stave off financial distress, correct?
How did this
A
break?
certain number of movies per year.
Fuck, I'm not
Tracy would
having
push for a
good
certain
luck
number
today.
of movies per year because it was beneficial to her.
Me.
That's the only reason she pushed for a certain number of movies a year?
That's the main reason Tracy would push for a certain number of movies per year, yes.
Not because it was beneficial to Mr. Depp,
I can fix
If it was
that.
beneficial to Mr. Depp, then it was
That
going to be beneficial
bullshit.
to Tracy.
but just because it was beneficial to Tracy doesn't mean it wasn't beneficial to Mr. Depp or his companies, correct?
I'll sustain the objection to this question.
Now, at some point, you became aware when he was
Right.
filming Pirates 5 in Australia, you became aware of an injury that he suffered to his finger, right?
No.
Yes.
And you were
Relief.
involved in trying to cover up how it happened, correct?
I'll allow the question.
Earwax.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
You were involved in helping to cover up how the finger injury happened, right?
I don't understand cover up.
You were involved in making sure that people on Mr. Depp's team didn't say how he hurt his hand, correct?
I'll allow the answer.
You can answer.
We certainly didn't want any press to know about it, so that's, to keep it from that.
And because you didn't want any press to know about his finger injury, you told Mr. Depp's personal assistant to make sure that he wasn't, to say that he wasn't sure how Mr. Depp hurt his hand, correct? You instructed him to say that.
If it was someone that
Cute
would be concerned that the word would get out to the press, I would have done that.
So it was okay to you to tell people to lie to protect your brother.
Get back to work, both of you.
It wasn't necessarily a lie. I didn't know how he hurt his finger myself at the time, because I'm pretty sure I know the time frame you're talking about is when it first happened.
And you have no personal knowledge to this day of how he hurt his finger, correct? Because you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
Heather, can you pull up Exhibit 210 redacted, please? Your Honor, this is the exhibit we discussed yesterday. The court and Mr. Chu agrees with the redactions. I'd just like to publish it to the jury and admit it into evidence.
In evidence. That's one you did this morning, correct? No, that's a different.
Yeah, I think that was 214.
That was 214. I'm sorry, I got it backwards. This is 10.
And I believe that this is just one page.
Oh, damn.
Or it's two pages, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's these 2 pages that we talked about yesterday.
Reserving your objections, so the redactions correct. Okay, that's fine. I will enter 214 over objections.
Permission to publish, Your Honor?
about empty. More than 10 minutes. Oh yeah.
So, Ms. Dombrowski, we discussed this a little bit yesterday. This is the text exchange between you and Ms. Hurd on February 3rd, 2014, where Ms. Hurd says JD is on Bender, and your response is where are the kids, correct?
Yeah.
Scroll down, please.
Password?
Let's go to the next page, please.
Didn't quite make it.
Scroll down to the bottom, please. And then you text Amber, worry about everything. Is that right?
I wrote the words worry about everything, just myself. I was speaking about myself.
And you tell her, I don't love any of it, correct?
Right.
And
To stay, we did go through this yesterday. Go ahead.
and 2 days later is when you sent your brother the text messages that said,
Goddamn pills.
stop booze, stop coke, stop pills, correct?
I'm not looking at it. I don't recall the timing of it.
Nothing further, thank you.
Redirect. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, someone else.
Good morning, Mr. Preston.
Mhm.
During Mr. Rottenborn's examination yesterday and again this morning, he spent a lot of time talking to you about your brother's alleged drug and alcohol abuse. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You're not denying that Mr. Depp ever used alcohol or drugs, are you?
Objection leading.
Just redirect. Your Honor.
That's still leading. I'll sustain this leading if you want to rephrase your question.
You also testified several times in response to Mr. Rottenborn's questions that Ms. Hurd tends to say things in a more dramatic manner. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
Why did you say that?
I've had my own interaction one-on-one with Miss Hurd, so I know a bit about her personality. She would present information to me that was not necessarily information that was supported by everybody else that was around. And I've spent a lot of years working with my brother. We have a close team. It's many years of trusted people helping, make sure that everything in life, it works out and goes smoothly. But all those people where I would have daily contact, whether it's about scheduling or just how the day's going for all the years, those people never said the same thing.
Objection hearsay, Your Honor.
I think it was responsive to the question.
Well, I'll sustain the last sentence.
Yeah, because, Your Honor,
Just the last sentence of it, that's all.
understood, Your Honor. I think it goes to state of mind rather than the truth.
I just need the last sentence. I'll sustain just the last sentence.
Thank you.
Strike the last sentence. Okay?
And do you recall your testimony yesterday when you stated that after the phenomenal success of Pirates One, one of the changes to Mr. Depp's, your brother's personal life was that there were a lot more people around him after that. Do you recall that?
Yes.
When Johnny and Miss Hurd became involved in a relationship several years later, were there still a lot of people around them, your brother, on a regular basis?
Yes.
Who were those people?
He had assistants, he had security, he had, property managers, people that helped at the house. He had quite a few people that were around all the time.
How often did you communicate with those people?
I communicated daily, not necessarily with each one of those people, but I communicated pretty much daily with people within the world, the circle.
Did any of those people ever raise the same concerns that Mr. did?
Objection, hearsay.
Again, it goes to state of mind.
I'll sustain the objection. Mr. Bruce, next question.
Thank you, Judgy Good.
What, if any, concerns were expressed about Johnny's behavior when using alcohol?
Objection, hearsay.
Again, it goes to state of mind.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Thank you, Your Honor, that's all.
All right. Is this witness subject to recall?
Because they couldn't
I
freaking
do not
badger.
believe so.
Oh,
She's subject to recall.
the hell
All right,
is
Mr.
it?
Brusky, you're free to go, or you can stay in the courtroom. It's up to you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brusky.
See Johnny
Your
smile.
next witness. Good morning, ma'am. Isaac Peruch. All right. We'll get it. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. While we're waiting for, could you spell his last name for the court reporter for me? Baruch. Thank you.
That's a thermometer I can't even find anymore. Seriously.
Hey, there's a thing here, transcript.
You can just keep it there, sir. Have a seat. Put the microphone close to you, please. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Would you state your name for the record, please?
My name's Isaac Baruch, ISAAC BARUCH.
Mr. Bruce, where do you currently live?
I live in Los Angeles.
Do you know the plaintiff in this case, Johnny Depp?
Yes.
How do you know Mr. Depp?
I know him since teenagers. We met in Florida.
And could you tell the jury a little bit about your experience meeting Mr. Depp when you were teenagers in Florida?
That's garbage.
Yeah, we were both playing in bands. We had mutual friends, and that we met in probably 1980. And yeah, we hit it off. We got along with each other, and yeah.
How often did you see Mr. Depp when you were teenagers together in Florida?
A few times a month. I'd say it could be more, a little more or whatever, because we see each other at parties and clubs and nightclubs where the bands played. Yeah, like that.
And for how long were you both living in Florida and seeing each other somewhat regularly?
Well, we met in like 1980, so and then we both moved away. He moved to California. I moved to New York. What was that? From 80 to 83. That was that like 4 years?
What were your impressions of Mr. Depp while you were both living in Florida at the same time?
Oh, he's a sweet kid. A sweet guy.
Sir, wait, there's an objection.
Oh.
Thank you.
What his impressions were?
Or what's the relevance?
Just establishing the background and the relationship.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Mr. Baruch, did there come a time when Mr. Depp moved away from Florida?
Yeah, yeah.
And where did he move to,
Like I said before, he moved to California.
At some point in time, did you also move to California?
Yeah,
And did you reconnect with Mr. Depp when you got there?
yeah.
Around what time was that?
Sometime during the first year, and then afterwards, after the first year, more and stuff.
About what year would you say that was?
Oh, I moved to California in September of '85.
And did you know if Mr. Depp was working when you arrived in California in 1985?
Well, I knew he was pursuing acting at that time. Yeah, I looked for work. He was pursuing acting.
How often did you see Mr. Depp when you first moved to California?
Well, like I said, the first year, a few times. Afterwards, I had a friend whose girlfriend lived in the same building as Johnny, and so then hanging out over there, I ended up seeing Johnny more often. And plus, my friend who I'm talking about, whose girlfriend lived in the same building, he was playing in a band, and they needed another guitar player, and Johnny ended up joining the band. So we were hanging out a lot more often.
What were you doing when you moved out to California?
I was pursuing music also, working retail jobs and trying to get a band, make a band. You know?
Did there come a time when you began working for Mr. Depp?
Oh yeah.
When was that?
Oh, that's later on. That's like in 1993.
What were you doing for Mr. Depp when you started working for him in 1993?
Well, he owned a place called the Viper Room, and
Which is getting closed down and bulldozed.
Nightclub, bar, and bands play. And
wasn't he on an episode of Ghost Hunters or something?
And the girl who was working, the person who was working as office manager didn't want to work there anymore. So the guy who was running the place with Johnny, who was a friend named Sal Jenko, another Florida friend from back in 1980, when we all first meet, he calls me up and he says, "Hey, Isaac, do you want to work this job?"
The truth of the matter is, that's fine. I'll overrule the objection. At some point in time, did you stop working at the Viper Room? When was that?
Oh, yeah.
When was that?
Well, I worked from 93 to 98. In 98, I moved away.
Did you return to LA again at some point?
Yes, I did.
When was that?
I moved back December of 2002.
What did you do for work when you returned to LA?
Well, for 2 weeks, I worked at an art gallery, and then I went back to the Viper Room on New Year's Eve.
How long were you working at the Viper Room at that point in time?
It was another year, and then the place changed hands.
Were you working on anything else while you were working at the Viper Room in that time frame?
Yeah, I was sidewise. I was teaching myself art.
And what steps were you taking to teach yourself art at that time?
Books, learning how to draw and paint, and taking community college classes.
At some point in time, did you begin pursuing art at a full-time scale?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, working at the Viper Room, taking classes, and then at one point, the club changed hands completely after a year, 2004. And I was given a choice of either keep working for these new owners, or Johnny out of his pocket was going to give a severance pay to whoever didn't want to work there anymore. So I took the severance pay, and then it helped me continue on to finish community classes, private classes, and then be able to transfer to Cal State University.
And did you get a degree at Cal State University?
Yes, I did.
What degree was that?
BFA.
What year?
2010.
After you received your BFA, did you continue to pursue art full-time? Did Mr. Depp ever express an interest in your art?
Yeah.
There.
When was the first time that happened?
Well, the first time we saw a painting in 2008, and then the next time was 2012. I had made a painting and sent it to my best friend, email, in an email, and he forwarded it to Johnny, and Johnny emailed back saying, hey, when Isaac wants to sell that, whenever he wants to sell that, to go ahead and get in touch with me because I want to buy it.
Did Mr. Depp ever buy that painting?
No,
Why not?
because when I brought all the paintings, I had moved back to California, and I brought over a bunch of paintings for him to look at and see if he wants any. To buy them, he looked at me and says, I got an idea. How about I be your patron? And we put together an art show, make a body of work, and then I'll throw a party and invite people, and I'll sell the stuff for you, and you can keep all the money. So he didn't buy any paintings there. Instead, he offered me a complete patronship.
So what did you understand he meant by becoming your patron?
Well, he's going to financially make it possible for me to just paint every day and put together a body of work so that way it could be sold.
How did he plan to do that? What did you understand he planned to do to make that possible for you?
I could tell you that what it included was that the next day I ended up moving into I moved into a art studio penthouse at the Eastern Columbia building. It was, listen, I got a place for you to go ahead and live and work and put this body of art together, and I'll take care of you. You don't have to worry about anything.
And what was the place where you were going to live, Mr. Depp offered you?
The Eastern Columbia building.
Did you take him up on that offer to live at the Eastern Columbia building?
Yeah, of course.
And how did that make you feel?
I started crying. There's, one day you're in your mother's garage selling paintings for $100, $200, $300 on eBay. Next thing you know, it's an art show, and like you don't have to worry about this spot. Of course. I was flipping out.
When did you move into the Eastern Columbia building?
The next day after we met and we talked. The next day, I get.
He says he's gonna take care of you. He's gonna take care of you.
Johnny, and I go to, and he says, hey, meet me at this address. And I go and I meet him, and here I am in front of this building. This is a beautiful building. This is like, it's whatever, 13 floors, but it's like from the 1930s, some Art Deco, beautiful building. And I'm looking, I go, all right, this is unreal. What? There's going to be, all right, it's going to be one of these apartments or whatever, one of these places here. I go in with Kevin Murphy. He takes me all the way up to the roof. We go into penthouse 2, and I walk in and I'm like crying, going, it's beautiful. This is like a mansion situation to me.
Mr. Birch, how long did you end up living at the Eastern Columbia building?
3 years and 7 months.
Your Honor, I'd like to show the witness plaintiff's exhibit 116.
Am I looking?
You will in a second.
go get one. Be right back.
I'm just gonna pull the paper copy. We can see it, but we can see it.
Thank you.
We'll just use a paper copy. We'll get this resolved at lunchtime.
Thank you. Mr. Birch, do you recognize the document that you're looking at that's been marked as plaintiff's exhibit 116?
Yeah.
What is it?
This is the floor plan of the roof, all the penthouses up on the roof at the Eastern Columbia.
And that's the building where you lived starting in March 2013, is that right?
I moved in the first week of March 2013. Yeah.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move into evidence, plaintiff's exhibit 116, please.
No objection.
All right, 116 evidence will publish to the jury.
Is it, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I just want to be sure. That
Yeah, they can see it in the gallery, see it, we just have to work on that
That's
screen.
great, thank you, Your
Mhm.
Honor. Mr. Birch, can you describe for the jury what is depicted here in exhibit 116?
Yeah, that, so the right side of this, graph is, there's a pool there, there's another, top of another apartment that actually starts on the floor below. It's a 2-story apartment. But there's a pool there and there's a gym, workout room. And the left side, there's at the bottom, there's an X, and that's the elevator. And so you walk out of the elevator, you make a little left, and there's part of penthouse 5 right there straight ahead. And then you keep walking straight, and then you make a left, a sharp left, and the actual penthouse 5 is straight ahead. And then you hang a right, and you start walking up that way. On your right is going to be penthouse 1. On your left is going to be penthouse 4. When you get to the end of that corridor, it's the door for penthouse 3. And if you hang a right, oh look, there it is, it came up on the screen. And if you hang a right, and you go down to the end, is the door to penthouse 2. That's the apartment that I lived in.
And who did you understand owned these penthouses?
Oh, Johnny owned them all.
Which one did you live in?
Penthouse 2.
Was anyone else living in the penthouses at the time that you moved in March 2013?
No, I was the first one to move in. I moved in the first week of March, and then a couple of weeks later, 2-3 weeks later, then Johnny and Amber moved in, and then after that, the next one to move in is Rocky, Raquel Pennington, Amber's friend, and then at some point her sister moved in, Whitney, and also at some point Rocky's boyfriend moved in with her in penthouse 1.
So I believe you just testified that Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard moved in shortly after you moved in, is that right?
Yes.
And which penthouse did they move into?
Penthouse 3.
And then you testified, I believe, that someone named Rocky Pennington moved in.
Yes.
Who was Rocky Pennington?
Amber Heard's friend from Texas, and I think they made them, I don't know, I'm not sure if they told me that they moved out there together or something like that, but, yeah, her friend.
And later you said that her boyfriend moved in with her. What was his name?
Josh Drew,
And which unit did they live in?
penthouse one.
And I believe you also testified that Whitney moved in. Who was Whitney?
Whitney, Heard. She's married, so she's got a different last name. I'm not sure what it is. But Amber's sister, Whitney.
And which of the units did Ms. Heard's sister live in?
4.
Can you tell the jury a little bit about your relationships with Ms. Heard, Ms. Pennington, Mr. Drew, and Ms. Heard, sister?
Yeah, I was friends with all of them. I loved them all. They all treated me with respect. It was great. I'm an old time friend of Johnny's, living there, and we were looking out for each other. We became great friends. I fell in love with all of them.
When you moved in to Penthouse 2, you were working on an art show with Mr. Depp, right?
Yeah, that's the entire reason that I'm there, is to work and put together this art show.
Did you have a time frame that you expected to be able to put on that art show?
At first, when we first powwowed this idea, when we talked about, all right, what do we do? What's this show going to be? How many paintings is it going to be? And we came up with a number. Okay, there's going to be a certain body of work. I'm not a known person. I'm just some schnook painter. If I was a famous painter, I could make 5 paintings, and the room will fill up. But so we decided, okay, like 25 pieces of work, large scale, and Johnny says, hey, how long do you think this will take? I said, I've never done it before. I don't know, maybe a few months.
And were you able to complete the paintings in a few months?
No, it took me in order to make 2 large scale paintings. It took me like to almost 2 months, and I'm start freaking out, going, I'm only got 2 paintings, and all right, I got to do 25. I said a few months, so I ended up going to Johnny's place and saying, hey, look, dude, this is going to take a lot longer than a few months. I could only make 2 paintings.
And how did Mr. Depp react?
He looks at me and he starts laughing and he says, Ike, don't worry. I do not care. I just want you to paint however long it takes. I want you to paint every day.
During the course of time that you were living at the Eastern Columbia building, did Mr. Depp ever give you any money?
Yeah.
How much did he give you?
Over a period of 4 years of the patronship, I ballpark it, calculated probably around 100,000.
And how did you come up with that amount?
Well, from the first get-go, when I said, hey, look, I need dough, to buy stuff and to, to do this, I ended up getting an envelope the next day with $5,000 in it. And then I budgeted and stretched it out, and so every few months I get an envelope. It could that I didn't know if it was going to be the same amount, but it ended up being the same amount, which was wow. So basically around $5,000 every few months. So in a year, it's 20 grand. But then also there was a period, maybe a year or two, might have been that it was 5 times I had to ask for dough, or it was 4. And then on top of it, so right there, that's could be 80 grand or 90 grand. And then on top of that, I ended up getting a herniated disc. He sent me to the doctors to get an MRI and see the doctor, get an MRI. And there was 10 weeks of therapy that he covered. So I throw that in there too. And I ended up coming up with the figure of 100 grand. Could be a little less, could be a little more.
What was your understanding of whether Mr. Depp intended to be paid back for the money that he provided to you?
There's no, that's not even the thought of being paid back. This is something that he wanted to see happen. This is something he invested in. He knew he was going to spend money to make it happen for me to survive and paint and create this thing that he wanted to see because he liked the art. And so there was no payback, and the whole thing was about him selling the art, so that way I keep all the money. He didn't expect anything. He's doing this as a friend, as he's done with many other friends.
I'll just say the last sentence of his statement. We've done that, but that's fine, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Bruch, did there come a time when you decided that you planned to pay Mr. Depp back?
Oh yeah, that for me, when he's told me he had money situation going on. For me, it was like this guy just changed. He's been making it possible for me to live and work and make product and that and I'm by that expense I'm part of the problem. It's like, well, how do I help him? How can I help him? I mean, he's sharing his sandwich with me, you know. It's like how do I share that my half my sandwich with him? Give him that half to make something up. You don't not do anything, and the only thing I got is paintings. So I stood up when he's telling me what he's telling me about his money situation, and for me, I said, hey, if these things ever sell, we got to split this 50-50, and I ain't taking no for an answer. Something I got to put something into this. So for me, I looked at it like he has to get something back.
Mr. Bruch, during your time living at the Eastern Columbia building, did you develop a relationship with the defendant in this case, Ms. Hurd?
Yeah.
And did you get along with Ms. Hurd?
I loved her. I fell in love with her just like Johnny fell in love with her. I fell in love with her. She's totally respectful, gracious to me, that she's got great teeth, that she treated me with complete respect. Anytime I walk into the humor-wise, total locker room humor, demented humor, totally laughed at, the jokes, made the jokes, totally got along with her. Every time I walked into that place, Isaac, you want something to eat? Isaac, you want something to drink? Every time. There's only one time I remember that she didn't offer because I walked in and she's in the kitchen at the counter and she's doing a beauty facial mask and so she can't offer me. And I'm going, hey, is that something that can help me? And she looked at me and she goes, no. And I'm laughing, and then she laughed after because she didn't realize she was making a joke. So, yeah, I loved her.
Mr. Bruch, did Ms. Hurd ever visit you in your penthouse?
Yeah.
Do you recall the first time that she visited you there?
Yes.
When was that?
The first time is that it's in March when they moved in, and they were there for a couple of days, and I didn't even know. And Johnny had called me, says, "Hey, come over, meet my girl," and so I did. And then the next day, they came over to my place for the first time to see how I had set up the art studio, the lights, and just what's my painting set up and stuff, and to look at other paintings. And they walked in, and I remember the first thing she said was, "I hope we didn't keep you up last night because of all the yelling." And I looked at her and I says, "No, these walls are like 3 feet thick. I don't hear diddly spot."
How did she seem when she said that to you?
Well, she's semi-joking and inquisitive, like David, to find out.
In your 3.5 years living at the Eastern Columbia building, did you have opportunities to observe Mr. Depp's and Miss Heard's relationship?
Yeah.
Can you describe what you observed about their relationship?
They were always loving with each other. They treated each other like gold. It's kissing and what can I get you type of thing. Being kind with each other. Always loving. Always a loving situation.
How often would you say you interacted with Mr. Depp and Miss Heard?
If they were there, because they're traveling, they're working and doing stuff. If they were there, I saw them maybe 2-3 times a week. Could maybe there might be one time a week that I see them, that I go over to hang out or see them, or they might come to, or Johnny might come over to visit, or like that.
Since you've known them, did you ever see them get physically violent with each other?
No.
Did you ever see them argue?
Yes.
How many times?
Probably like twice.
Can you describe the arguments that you witnessed?
The first argument that I remember was walking in. It was a telephone argument. Johnny's at the kitchen table and he's arguing. He's screaming about something, and on the other line, because it's on speaker, and he's talking with the phone at the phone. The other person is Amber, and then she's in New York, and he's at the kitchen table, and they're arguing, and he's going, "Who is it? Who is it?" And she's saying, "Oh, baby, come on, please don't. What are you doing, baby? Why are you feeling like this, baby?" And this went on for a little while, and I'm listening, and then he hangs up. She calls back again, and it's the same thing. Who is it? What's going on? Who is it? And she's saying, "Oh, come on, baby, don't be. What are you doing, baby?" And then hang up the phone again. The third time it happens, I'm saying there's no solution in this conversation. I grabbed the phone from him and I says, "Hey, Amber, this is Isaac. Listen, this conversation is now over." And I hung up the phone. And she didn't call back again, and he went to the couch and went to bed.
I believe you said you saw them argue twice. Was there another time that you saw them argue?
I ended up going over, and there's at the kitchen table is Johnny, is Amber, is Rocky, and Josh. And and I'm going, "What are you guys doing?" And they're hanging out, and they're trying to plot figure out a way how to get rid of Whitney to not live there anymore. And I felt bad. I like Whitney. So, that's going to be a drag. And what are you plotting? How do you figure out? Hey, lend your sister some dough and let her move out. But they're trying to figure something out, something differently or whatever. At one point, so there was a point, Johnny got completely, flustered and frustrated, and he got up and he walks away. And as he's walking away, he says, "Figure it out." And that was it. That was the whole thing. I don't know if you want to call it, I don't think you might call that an argument. But
Your Honor, I'm about to switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Good time for a mid-morning.
Okay, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and have you take your morning recess for 15 minutes, okay? Just remember to not talk to anybody and do not do any outside research, okay? And we'll see you back here in 15 minutes. You can stay right here, that's fine, you don't have to stand. Sir, I just want to remind you, since you're still on the stand under oath, you can't talk to any of the attorneys or Mr. Hurd at this time until your testimony is done, okay?
Okay.
All right, and we'll be back at 11:45, okay?
I gotta stay here the
Yeah,
whole
you have to stay
time.
the whole time.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
They went to a break. Lovely. Good. I can actually eat my food in peace now. God, flipping blessed pillows. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Insulin. And stab. And a spot that don't hurt much. Okay. Yummy. Mm. 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 Oh, come on. Come in from break already. 9, 8, 7, 6. Am I live anymore? Ah! Got crumbs all over again. Mm. 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 Come on, back from break. Damn, I was hungry. Oh, crap. Charger came out. Check my Yahoo. Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 Oh, come on. Come back from break. I wonder if it's coming. That's exactly history. Maybe it's my minutes from CBS. Hopefully, I win a free ham. And Tammy's raffling off 2 hams. I want it to be a surprise for Cindy. So if I win, I won't know until around 1:00. Okay, I'm bored. I know my daughter's coming home early, so. And she's here.
I beat Daryl home.
You saw him walking?
I beat him on the way here. I achieved something.
While you're waiting for him to come home,
What?
you can do some of these things.
Some.
Since I did most of them this morning. Okay?
Are you going to be?
No. Well, it's not the Wii. It's a 3DS.
No, that.
Oh, I was going through my drawer, sorting them out. Since I had a lot
Did you
of
see my high?
your boyfriend saying me and your good my girlfriend.
I told him to say oh hi.
I thought you weren't supposed to text.
We were at lunch and we just finished eating. And he saw that you were streaming.
I appreciate it if you did those dishes before Mark comes in.
When's Mark gonna come in?
I have no idea, and he hasn't come in yet, so I'd rather them be done right now.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Since I did the morning ones, you
I
can do.
beat you home.
No cord. No cord. Sorry. Sorry, I don't know what happened to it. If it was in there. If it was in there, I don't know what happened to it.
Remember, we found one and I said, hey, I can hook up the DVD player.
Yeah, I know. I remember that, but I don't know what happened to it. Let her do the dishes first, and then she'll help you, okay?
I'm not in a rush. I'm just moving stuff from behind. See if maybe once you're sitting there on the floor.
You found it? Oh, okay. Yada, 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 yada. Come on, come back with Johnny. I'm watching the court thing with Johnny, and they're at break right now. Ah, finally. That's had a long lunch.
Yes, we have the next question. Mr. Burge, were you
Back.
Okay.
Yeah, we're back. Yay.
Were you still living in penthouse 2 of the Eastern Columbia building on May 21st, 2016?
Yes.
Do you recall what you were doing that evening?
Yes.
What were you doing?
I was out, it was evening time, I'm out in the neighborhood, and I'm on my way home. I get a phone call from my friend, who wants to know if I want to go out and eat. I said I just ate, but I'm 5 minutes away from the Eastern Columbia building home, and that I go across the street for something to eat, and bring it up for takeout, and we'll go upstairs tomorrow, Johnny, and we'll eat again.
Did you meet your friend back at the Eastern Columbia building?
Yeah.
Around what time was that?
9:30.
What happened after you met your friend?
We went upstairs.
Can we pull up the plans exhibit 116 again, please? Your Honor, given that this has already been admitted, I ask that it be published.
All right, that's fine.
2 irons and 3 beds.
Okay. So,
1, 2.
Mr. Birch, is it on the screen in front of you?
Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Birch, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about what happened after you went upstairs that evening. And it may be helpful for you, there are controls on that screen that you can use to sort of mark the exhibit to show the jury the spots that you're talking about and identifying.
So if you just touch it, it'll make a mark, so you don't have to touch the top, that's fine.
Do I touch something on menu here?
No, you don't, just wait a minute, you can touch it whenever she needs you to mark it.
Just wherever I touch it, it's gonna make them all.
You will.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Birch, when you got upstairs that evening with your friend around 9:30, what did you see?
We got out of the elevator and, you know, just like in the graph, you make a left and then you turn the corner. When we walked out, I noticed on the floor, there's shards of glass, there's pieces of glass. And so, you know, just looking going, oh, something busted. Could be one of the sconces or something like that. And kept walking.
Can you mark on the exhibit where you saw the broken glass that evening?
Yeah. Right there. Right where you could go left or you could go right. And if you wanted to go to a pool area, there's an exit that way. So you could either go right or you go left. You go left, you're in the apartment, going in the hallway through the apartment. Or you go right there in that spot.
And did you continue on to your penthouse after you saw the broken glass?
Oh, yeah. So we walk around and then we make the turn. We head the right past penthouse 5 and we stop right in front of right here.
Why did you stop right there?
Oh, stopped in front of here, penthouse 1, which is more right there, because there's this puddle of wine, each puddle of wine on the floor that's in front of the door, and there's wine, the splashed wine that's dripping down the wall. And so we stopped, and I'm looking at it and going, look at this. Someone must have got hammered. These guys probably had a party. And at that point, right then, as soon as I said that, the door opens up. And it's Josh Drew. He pokes his head out the door, only enough for his head to come out. And he's pretty bug-eyed and looks distraught. And I look at him and I go, what's up with the spilled wine? And I'm figuring I'd get an explanation or whatever. And he says, he looked at me and just said, rough day. Had a rough day. And at that point, I got concerned and said, and because I'm friends with him, you know, I got concerned. I said, hey, you okay? You want me to help you with something? Do you need help? He said, no, it's okay. We got it. And I said, okay. And me and my buddy took off. Went into my place.
And what did you do after that?
My buddy ate. I believe he had pizza from across the street, and we talked. We yapped for a while, and you know, could be I could yap, so it could take. We were there probably an hour and change or something like that, and then we're done. So I walked him out and walked down. I went to the elevator, walked out, went to the elevator. We went downstairs. I walked him out the door, finished the conversation that we were having. And I said, all right, see you. And then I went back in. I went upstairs and I went to bed.
Around what time was that you went back into the Eastern Columbia building?
You know something, we got there at like around 9:30, and we're talking, I don't know, an hour to an hour and a half, 2 hours, you know, somewhere around 11 o'clock, I would think.
We can go ahead and take, 116 down. Mr. Baruch, can you describe for the jury the events of the next day, May 22nd, 2016?
Yes. It's my birthday. May 22nd is my birthday. I wake up, I end up texting Johnny and saying, hey, I'm going to be in town. He's not staying at the Eastern Columbia building. He's staying in a house in town.
We watched it.
And,
all day.
So I texted him.
Oh, nice.
I said,
Yeah.
be in town.
Teachers suck.
Come by and,
They suck at playing volleyball.
I didn't hear from him.
I'm
back there. I said, that's
live.
good. If that happened, that happened. So it's
I'm not one of them watching this.
So
I mean, seriously.
walk out of my apartment and I go through the hallways and you see the rep. I go through the hallway and I turn the corner and come out straight.
Oh, wow.
And as I'm walking down,
Next time, warn her, girl.
I did warn you.
No, you didn't.
It's a guy in black.
I came in, hugged you, and fell right on your bed. Where's
You
the
didn't give me
warning?
a chance. All you did was and started walking.
And the door is open. This door is open. Something's going on. And as I'm walking up,
Next time, give
I'm
me
saying,
warning.
hey, what's up? What you guys doing?
That you're live instead of just playing a damn game. Hell, if I would have seen the live thing, I would have known.
That's because I'm playing a game right now.
A game that you play every single day.
Yeah, and I've gone far in it.
Boring ass game at that.
And she goes, oh, don't worry about two. You're okay. And at this point, I'm now walking.
Boo.
So
Ow.
I'm walking of the open door.
One thing I know.
Five.
One thing I know about volleyball is that I don't understand it.
What don't you understand? Because I know volleyball.
Josh Drew on one side.
Well, one thing I know is extremely confused.
What are you confused about?
Well, I didn't know who was getting what points, right?
And then Amber.
The only way, let me explain it to you. If the volleyball goes out of the bounds, the other team gets a point. If it hits the net, it gets a point. If it
For
drops,
which team?
for any team that's over there. But if it's the same team and it hits the net, the other team gets the point.
Okay, because that's what I was getting confused about.
And if it lands in and they didn't catch it in time, the other team gets the point.
I was confused on
And
that.
and I'm kind of taking this in and going, I said, wait,
I was kind of confused on that.
what happened? What's going on? And at that point, Josh Drew
Nicholas.
looked
Yeah,
at me.
Brooke, I have to fix it.
I said,
It can be fixed.
follow me.
That's the second necklace you broke today!
I know, no necklace is working for me today.
When you were speaking with Ms. Heard, how close were you standing to her?
Tell me she don't look like she's ready for war. In that outfit. Like she belongs in the Few Good Men with Tom Cruise.
She does.
In that outfit.
She does.
All she needs is that military hat. Yeah, tell me she don't.
Oh my God, Amber Heard, we're not going to war.
Exactly.
This is just you going to war with your ex-husband.
Oh my God, you are not in the military. You are not in the naval military.
And this is how you know you can tell she's a lesbian by the clothes she wears.
Oh my God, Amber.
She's, oh my God, Amber, no.
She's the good little soldier sailor girl.
Can we send her overseas? Because that way they shoot at her faster.
Yeah, please.
And everybody knows who she is, so they'll just put the gun at her and
You know she ain't gonna have no relationship after this court hearing. She should have thought about this before she even done this, because seriously, everyone knows what she's doing to Johnny and everything.
Mom, lower the voice. Lower the voice.
Close the door.
Well, yeah, after I said that,
Mrs. Soldier.
And so every man out there knows about her. So she ain't gonna have a sex life for a while.
A very long sex life. Hell, this has halted her sex life.
Exactly. So she should have thought about the long term. But knowing that she's a blonde, you know what I'm saying?
Blondes are idiots.
Exactly.
As I'm walking up, he hit you? And she goes, yeah, he threw a phone at me and hit me. And I'm looking, because I had just seen her 2 feet away. I'm going, where?
Yeah, where?
And she puts her head out. She puts her face out like that for me to look at on the right side of her face. And I'm looking, but at that point also, I'm looking, and I turn around, get on the other side, we're in the doorway. So I'm on this side, with the light shining this way from the doorway, with the lights above, and but the sunshine. And she's got her face out like this, looking, to show me. And I'm looking, and I inspect her face. I'm looking at her forehead. I'm looking at the side of her eye. I'm looking at her cheek. I'm looking at her chin. I'm looking at the other side of her face. I'm looking at the whole thing. And I don't see anything. I don't see a cut, a bruise, swelling, redness.
Nothing!
Something that would indicate you were hit with something.
Exactly.
I'm not seeing anything. I back up and I'm making a joke. I make a joke going, well, I don't see anything, but maybe you'll beauty from one side of your face to the other side of the face is outshining everything, so I can't see anything. And she laughed and she, smiled. And I just looked at everybody and said, hey, it sounds nuts.
When she has a witness saying that they did not see anything.
And I gave her a hug and kissed her on that side of the face. And then I left. Say goodbye.
Yeah, when witnesses start saying, hey, I didn't see jack shit, that kind of goes against you.
No.
Exactly, of the abuse. He did see the wine on the floor and everything, spilled.
But that could have been from her.
Exactly.
So that's
Taking the event.
May 22nd, my birthday. And then the next day is
And his sister said the only problem she knew about that he had was for prescription pain pills, and he was going for help for that.
And it's Amber. So I opened up the door.
Around what time was that?
That's, I want to say maybe around noontime, maybe a little bit before. Maybe it could have been a little, I think around noontime again. And I went downstairs and I opened up the door.
And when you opened the door, did you have a good view of Miss Heard?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, shut up, Archie.
Lighting's fine. Lighting from outside, and there's light from my place. Yeah, so the lighting was great.
Did you see any marks on Miss Heard's face at that time?
No, same thing. Like
I love this guy.
there's no.
And he's
redness.
good friends with Johnny. Johnny gave him an apartment to live in. Don't you have egg on your face?
She didn't look like she was wearing makeup.
Oh, and she's really like, oh, I'm fucked.
What did Miss Heard say to you during that?
And look at the attitude she's having.
Like, I know I'm fucked, so I have to give an attitude. That's how anybody would react when they're found guilty.
Exactly.
Because she had to go somewhere. And I woke up that day.
Teenagers pout. Teenagers or adults pout whenever they know they've been caught of doing wrongdoing.
Exactly.
Be upstairs laying down this entire time for the day or whatever. And that, so I can't do it. And then she stood there and is like, well, I gotta figure out what to do. Like maybe if she was only dependent upon me to give the housekeeper the key. It's the same. The housekeeper cleans both of our places, and
She expects everyone to bow down to her. That shows that.
Take the key, put it in an envelope, and bring it downstairs to the concierge. You know, and that's where the key will be. And tell Hilda, who is the housekeeper, that that's where the key is. And that's it. And you're set. And she was like, yeah, okay, I guess I could do that. And I'm look, I'm 3 feet away from her. 2.5, 3 feet away from her.
So he would have seen a bruise
And how long
or anything on that pretty little face of hers.
3 minutes?
Did you see Miss Hurd again the next day?
Yes, I did.
Where did you see her?
All right. I go down, I'm leaving my apartment on Tuesday.
He's stuttering a
Go
lot.
downstairs to the cafe, go get
He's trying to remember.
I still
Yeah,
have to
but
stop to get
Stuttering
a-
also leads to guilty mind.
And,
No, it doesn't.
So I need
Yeah, it does. Sometimes it does.
go
Because it could
downstairs.
lead to someone trying to think of a lie and
As I'm
think of
locking
it
my
quick.
door, that all of a sudden a group of women come up to Penthouse 3. Because in that corridor on the graph, you can see we share the same corridor. So I'm locking my door, and the group of women show up.
Did you recognize who the women were?
3 of them, yeah.
Who were
It
they?
was, something, I'm unsure if it was 4 or 5 women, but
See?
it's,
Making up facts.
Amber, it's her sister Whitney.
No, he's just trying to
and
remember.
No, when he retracts his statement like that,
Melanie
He didn't retract his statement. He's trying to remember.
Johnny and Amber.
yeah, but
This
the woman
isn't-
had
this
already
isn't-
moved on
that-
to the next question already.
Yeah, and he's trying to remember that day.
I'm not sure.
Did you interact with the women at all?
Well, after closing the door, Whitney, who calls me her spirit animal, came running down the hallway going.
He's trying to remember. He probably doesn't have a great memory.
But something's telling me not to believe this guy as well.
I'm feeling so
I mean,
good.
look at Johnny, I love you!
Look at him. He's smiling underneath him doing that.
You can tell that he has a smile.
Yep.
He's trying to appear all confident, but you saw the smile.
I saw the smirk.
Oh, my gorgeous man. I mean, even in a suit and tie. Oh,
Did you see Miss Hurd's face during
he
that?
is a
It was
God.
good plans, but nothing's just shot out.
He knows he won this round too. He didn't win yesterday.
Miss Hurd again?
I mean, he won yesterday and he won
I
today.
saw her again that day.
Oh,
He won yesterday?
In public
On the way
opinion,
back
he won
from
yesterday.
me being outside.
And
But we don't fully know if he actually did win. This is taking 5 weeks.
And now all her and the women that she was with.
And after those 5 weeks, we'll get a definite answer. Did Amber Heard win or not?
Doors of the lobby, it's all windows.
say hi.
Lights shine through the entire lobby.
Took a date.
And the women are hesitating
And I
in the
liked
middle of the lobby. And,
Can't.
her friends, or, I know 3.
Mom, stop.
Yeah,
Stop it, Mom.
They come in, they're walking on one side of the table, and then she's on the other side of the table when I'm walking, and now we're walking past each other, and she's, of course, we're gonna acknowledge each other and looking at each other, and now she's the sun shining right in our face. It's to my back because I'm walking in, and so that's like this.
Yeah, the moon.
Saying, all right, hey, all right, enjoy yourself, have a good time, or whatever you're doing, and go by. I went on.
Lily
And that
Bobby
was it. That
Brown
was the
opens
second
up the
time that I
back
saw her.
roast.
And that's on Tuesday.
Oh,
Did you get a
shit.
good look at her face during
Oh.
the second encounter?
Absolutely, the sun shining right on her face.
Did you notice anything unusual about her face?
Nothing, no cuts, no bruises, no swelling, no redness, no. It's Amber.
Even he said it's Amber! When you say it like that, you know she's bullshitting!
point, it's like, okay, I got to shop for something because otherwise I'm not going to get rid of this chest coat. I'm go to the store and on the way back in between
You
the
fuck.
garage and the building is this room with like vestibule.
No, and I don't really care. But he's 60 years old?
You have to walk
Holy
through.
shit.
And I'm coming in to go into the building, and Amber and Whitney, her sister, are coming out of the building to
I
go.
wonder
into the
how they're
building.
going to replace him
Met
for
there.
the Affleck bird.
How long
Yeah, I
did you
don't know.
sleep with them? If at all?
Yeah, we spoke. That's so we're facing each other. Amber and Whitney are across from me. We're 2.5 feet,
Ow.
2 feet away from each other.
Ow!
Of
Sorry.
course, so we stop, of course.
I'm
sorry.
We say, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Where you going? Where you going? Where you coming from? I have bags of food in my hand, the stuff that I went and I bought.
I
And
don't
so
care.
said,
I
hey,
never
I'm
really
coming
liked
from
that show.
shopping. Finally bought myself some stuff to get rid of this chest coat thing. And they go and they're going to the CVS. And they look at me and so it was
Poor Tupac. Why did he have to know that bitch?
No, no.
And she says,
And to be dancing to her husband's song.
Yeah.
I mean, such disrespect.
Some cold stuff. I said, no, I think I got everything.
Wait, go back up.
And,
Go back up.
And they said,
Back
you
up.
sure? And I said, yeah,
Wanna see me?
I got it.
Yep.
So don't sweat it.
Want to see me do it again?
You know, kiss or whatever. I got my hand, I can't hug or whatever. So, and
I thought you were saving on water.
I was to see him.
That would be a good idea, though.
But you're not saving on water because you're both using water.
But I like that idea. Me and Dad can find the
It's literally bullshit.
Yes, this room. Yes, yeah, this room. It's completely lit. That it's a spot, and there's a camera taking cameras always on, the security camera, and it's always, and so it's got good lighting and stuff. Because this is a spot where if you use it,
I knew they were hung and everything, but they were also burned at the stake.
No, they
Well,
weren't.
the door takes a long time.
It's just a
you know, it's
collective
one of those
thing.
things with the pressure thing that the door just doesn't close. It takes a while for it to close. Someone could be in the garage, he's not supposed to be in the garage, run and hold the door open. And then they get into the apartment.
It makes a good lady from Spirit
Wicked
Away.
Witch. Oh.
Well lit.
She's supposed to have turned into her.
And then there's a camera there.
She did a good job.
Pictures, doing what the camera does.
Was Ms. Heard wearing makeup during that
Nice.
discussion?
Neither of them looked like
Oh,
they
she
were
looks
wearing
just
makeup.
like her. Oh my
And
God.
Whitney had this hat on,
Oh.
that the
Holy
fun
shit.
hat or whatever, and that
She's good at this.
Yeah.
no makeup. I don't even know Whitney
Wow.
to be a makeup person. And that,
Definitely she should play Courageous
Amber, no,
owner.
she was,
Definitely.
just natural Amber.
Rita
That's-
Raposa.
that's,
Wow.
just as always, no makeup.
Did
Oh,
you
that's
notice
close.
any marks on Ms. Heard's face?
Oh, God.
No.
He's good.
Yeah, really.
No swelling. No, there's no nothing. There's no swelling, no bruising, no redness, no cuts, no.
In your
Nothing.
And that's the first count eyewitness.
Turning back
So
to,
supposed to,
May
oh, Johnny
21st,
bruised me.
when you first heard that Ms.
I bet
Heard
every other person is this. Oh, no, I didn't see jack shit.
Say that again.
When Ms. Heard told you that Mr. Depp had hit her on May 22nd,
Yeah, my birthday.
how did you feel hearing her say that? What's the relevance to how you, and was it President's impression of how he perceived that in that moment? I'll sustain the objection. Mr. Brooks, did you see Ms. Heard at all the rest of that week of May 23rd?
No.
Did you learn at some point point in time that Ms. Heard had filed for divorce from Mr. Depp?
I want to make those
Did you learn at
again.
some point in time that Ms. Heard
Please,
had
please,
filed for
please
divorce?
let me make them again.
Hold on. It's on.
How did you learn that?
I learned it from the internet. After the weekend,
That's
around
perfect. We
the-
just need a
probably
cookie sheet.
Monday, either Sunday or Monday.
425, 8 minutes.
And I ended up seeing
All we need is a
picture
cookie sheet.
Of, it was the Friday of that week, the past week. And there's a picture of Amber wearing
Oh, yeah,
a
the video
black
game.
morning dress and with this brown mark
That's so cool.
on her cheek. And that she's been to a divorce, she went to go file for divorce. That's how I found out.
Were you surprised when you saw that?
Surprise is not the word. It's like, what the hell is this? What's going on?
Exactly. And he knew Johnny
At
for a
any point
while.
when you had seen her during that prior week, had she told you that she intended to file for divorce?
Look at the look.
Oh, wow.
The look says it all.
Saying you bitch.
No. She never once. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday or Friday, not even see it. No, there's no. I'm clueless. She did not say anything about divorce.
So what did you think when you saw those pictures and read the articles and learned that she was filing for divorce?
I'm sorry, objection relevance to what?
And it builds on all of the testimony he's given previously.
I'll sustain the objection.
When did you see Ms. Heard next after that?
She knocks on my door
Johnny's can't knock it
June
out of the park with this
Friday.
one.
Friday.
He got all his evidence in order.
She knocks on my door around 11 o'clock. Is the next time that I see.
And what happened when she knocked on your door on June 3rd?
I
Fan
opened the
theory.
door.
Let me see that.
I opened up the door, and actually, something I say is, "Hey, how you doing?" To say hello. So I open up the door and say, "Hey."
Maybe
how you doing?"
Leonard
She
can't
looks at me and she said,
Can't pay
"I'm
rent.
feeling so hot that
He has
I made some food.
money,
Would you like to
money
come
problems.
over?"
mental money thing
And
like I do.
At that point, everything I see, I looked at her. I said, "Listen, me and you, we're not going to talk anymore. After everything that I've just seen all week long from
Oh, thank you. You are such an amazing guy.
He's Johnny's best friend, man. He's not gonna let his man fucking go
Everything that I've seen.
down for his hair bullshit. He seems like that type of guy. You know?
Did she say anything in response?
Yes, in response to that, she looks at me and she says, "I told Johnny I don't want anything. The lawyers are making me do all of this." And
I doubt that very much.
That's what she said.
Liar.
Did you respond to Ms. Heard?
No, what I was thinking was that to me, after saying that, after she said that to me, I'm thinking to myself, "Gamecock on the arm, hey, how,
All right, I'll sustain that objection. Next question.
Did you see any injuries on Ms. Heard's face on June 3rd when you spoke with her?
No."
Did you ever speak with Ms. Heard again after that?
Well, she said to me, after that, the lawyers are making me do all of this. Then I was just looking at her, and then she ended what she was saying by saying, "Well, I'm sorry you feel that way." And I closed the door and never talked to her ever again.
Did you have any interactions with the staff at the Eastern Columbia building about Ms. Heard's allegations against Mr. Depp?
Okay.
You know that Johnny is laughing.
Because he knows this is the bomb that's gonna kill her. Because it's
You
all
can see it on Amber's face. She knows she's losing, and she's losing badly.
today. Exactly.
And yesterday. Like, seriously, see him talking!
Smiling! He's smiling!
He was there pissed, and he's like,
I love when this big pissed.
yeah, he tries to hide that he's not smiling, but he
You can see the little smile that comes on his face.
feels brighter the minute he starts smiling. Like,
He knows he's getting to Amber. He knows it.
He knows that with the people that he's got behind his back, she's finally gonna go underground.
Yep.
It's like, you
And if she
fucked up.
And I'm telling you, if she loses this,
Any interactions with the staff at the Eastern Columbia building about Ms. Heard's
I'm sorry, but he's still
allegations against Ms.
smiling.
Yes.
And at some point, did you see a security video taken in the Eastern Columbia building?
Yes.
When was that?
Sometime in June, maybe 2 weeks in or something like that. 2-3 weeks
that's
in.
it.
Yes.
Can you
And the
describe,
parents of the
what
little
you
boy
saw
who
in
took
that video?
my son's brand new bike.
It was
I appreciate it
video
if it was returned
of,
today, or I will be going to the police
Amber
department,
and
West
Whitney
Center Street. That's
waiting
Connie.
behind
Thank you.
the
It's a
elevator
metallic blue green.
mezzanine level, coming from
And
the
they got
elevator,
pictures.
obviously.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
we
giraffe.
went to the elevator, and Whitney does this to Amber.
Yeah, there is.
And he took
People
the-
could-
And they have a face right there. Police can zoom in and can tell who you are.
And they started-
Exactly.
Did Ms. Heard react at all in that video to the fake punch that you observed Whitney throw?
Yeah, she's laughing after doing it. They both, laughing at each other, with each other.
Mr. Bruce, do you know who Elon Musk is?
Sure.
Have you ever seen Mr.
Seriously,
Musk
that
in
was-
person?
Yeah.
Where did you see him in person?
First time was I'm getting into the elevator on the rooftop, penthouse level. I'm going into the elevator, and he's coming out of the elevator, going past me.
And when did that take place?
This is after May. This is sometime June, could be July, but after May.
In that same year, 2016?
Yeah.
And when was the second time that you saw Mr. Musk?
One morning waking up and
Aren't you?
going and opening up the
You want
shades
I know.
bedroom, and
He's
it's
too
on the
neat.
second floor, and it overlooks
Told you,
the
Daryl.
balconies, our adjoining balconies, because my balcony joins with John and Amber's balcony, and that opening up the shades, I see Elon Musk going through the balcony door on their side, to then walk down a common corridor to that then at the end leads to a door that you then walk out to the rest of the rooftop. And you go to the pool, you go to the gym and stuff. So I'm looking out, and on the view out the window is of both of our balconies.
I know you can.
That's where I saw him.
And when was that?
Oh, sometimes it's either June, July, but it's
Good
after May.
He danced.
Mr. Bruce, how long have you known Mr. Depp?
Met him, I believe, in 1980, and what's 42 years? Or it's going to be 42 years.
Have you ever seen Mr. Depp be violent when angry with Ms. Heard?
Objection, leading.
I'll
Yeah. It's a
I'm allowed to answer?
Yes.
What's the question again?
Have you ever seen Mr. Depp be violent when angry with Ms. Heard?
No. Well, from what I said from before, there was an argument that I walked in, so there's that, but have I ever seen him be violent to her with physicality? No.
Did you ever see him hit her?
Thank you!
And Donnie's like, oh, thank you, God.
Standing at the Eastern Columbia building next to Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard, did you ever observe any injuries or marks on Ms. Heard?
Leading, Your Honor.
Did you ever notice anything unusual about Ms. Heard when you were living at the Eastern Columbia building?
Objection, leading, Your Honor.
I'll allow it.
I wish it was me. They got just
I can answer.
Yes.
What's the question again?
Did you
Nickelodeon
ever
is
notice
such a
anything
Karen.
unusual about Miss
Oh,
Hurd
really?
during the time that you were living next door to her at the Eastern Columbia building?
Besides having great teeth? No.
Mr. Burch, are you appreciative of everything that Mr. Depp has done for you?
Your Honor, leading and relevant.
All right, I have to say it's a meeting. Mr. Burch, how do you feel about what Mr. Depp has done for you? Go ahead. I think that's
I love
Just
Johnny.
answer the question, sir.
And the question is,
How do you feel about everything that Mr. Depp has done for you?
oh, come on, it's unreal. Yeah, it's, you think too much.
Do you see
about it.
Amber doing that for somebody?
I appreciate everything
That's his
that
son.
he's done for me. It's like
This
stuff
is
you can't
adorable.
pay back.
Would you lie for him under oath?
Oh, no.
Leading. All right, that's a statement of objection. Have you given truthful testimony today, sir?
Objection, Your Honor.
It's still leading. It's a statement of objection. That's all. Okay, thank you.
Oh,
All right. Cross-examination?
I only got a star.
Let's start with the makeup. Now, you know that Ms. Hurd was.
Excuse me. I
I'm
didn't
sorry?
hear the beginning of what you started saying.
I said, let's start with the makeup.
Okay.
Okay. You're aware that Ms. Hurd has both.
Miss
modeled
Hart?
and been
What the
active
fuck?
She's
20 years before.
acting like Miss Hart from Chicago, man. I mean, come
I
on.
didn't know she was a model.
Were you aware that she had a commercial agreement with L'Oreal, for example?
When now? Or back then?
What's your knowledge?
I don't know any of that.
Okay. Have you ever been with Ms. Hurd when she has put makeup on?
I've been in the room, yeah, when makeup was getting put on her, yeah.
When makeup was being put on her, was this for some acting role or something like that?
It was an event that they were going to.
So that was somebody else applying makeup to Ms.
Yeah.
Hurd who was going to have some gala event that she was going to?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been? with
Yeah, I've
Ms.
had that
Hurd
problem.
in her
Let's see.
bathroom?
Hand sanitizer works
and
great.
when she
Should have known
was
that.
applying makeup anymore?
That would have
I
been
got
enough.
punk and purple.
Are you familiar
Off
with
my
the
face.
cream?
Ears and neck with it.
This person is you.
And makeup?
Because that's the exact same color that happened to get messed with you.
Foundation Ms. Hurd uses.
Let's see.
Do you know
I just
what
use
type
Head
of
and Shoulders
concealer
shampoo.
Ms. Hurd uses? No.
Supposed
You
to
know what
fade
type of
strip
tint
color, and it
Ms. Hurd
does.
uses?
With no clue.
Nail
Do
paint.
you know what types of powders?
No, we
Ms.
don't
Hurd
have
uses?
nail polish removal.
So
When I took hand
when you're saying
sanitizer,
that
I always
you
used a
didn't
little
notice
of
any
what
makeup, would it be
the
fair
dew
to say
to lift.
that
Use a
you
little of the dew
yourself
to lift what
are
was
not
on the
familiar
skin.
with what type of makeup Amber Hurd uses on a daily basis?
Okay, I tried Neutrogena eye makeup cloth remover.
Yeah, we
Now,
don't
the
have
first
that.
time
Don't have that.
That you saw her, which was.
Everyone's saying hand sanitizer.
Baking soda and lemon
Ms.
juice.
Hurd was there. Were
We don't have
aware she
baking
was on
soda.
her way to somebody else's birthday party, not yours, but somebody else's that.
Magic erasers.
No.
What?
Can you
Magic
tell me
erasers.
what her hairstyle was that day?
It's just down.
Down
That
as
stuff
in-
expensive.
Just
Always
regular
use Vaseline on
outside.
ears
She's
and
got
around
that
hairline.
she's got some
If
kind
not
of
gonna
hair
use
style.
a coloring
But
brush,
no.
it washes right off when
She's
you are
no
done.
hair down, regular, no
Or use
makeup,
acetone nail
just
polish remover.
Well, when you say no makeup.
Next time I do that, that's what I'm gonna freaking Vaseline and freaking
Because it was a disaster.
sanitizer.
Because it was a freaking disaster on your part. But I swear that one woman was you. Because she used the same exact color you used.
And you don't know whether she.
Let's see,
has-
see.
Look at Amber Heard. She's looking at Johnny with such hatred, even though she's caused most of the
And
problems.
at first you saw the little attitude problem. Now she's putting on the puss.
Like seriously,
She's
she is looking at Johnny right now.
I'm serious. She's trying to win sympathy. Look at that little smirk.
Bitch.
What's the objection? Call for speculation.
I swear, I
You're
want
gonna
to.
pout your way out of jail.
I'll give you
I
a
know.
real bruise, bitch. I'll give you a real bruise, bitch, on the face if you really want to go there.
Yeah.
I'll show you what a real bruise looks like. It's black and blue and purple, not brown. Okay? With a little yellow. Black and blue and purple and a little bit of yellow and green. That's a black and blue, not brown.
That night.
All right, but let's go back to May 22nd. Do you
Yeah.
recall what she was wearing?
I could have sworn she was wearing another schmuck dress that I've seen hanging around the apartment with.
And do you recall what color?
No.
Okay. Do you recall what jewelry Ms.
No.
Heard was wearing that day? Okay. Now, you indicated that there was a security guard there, and there was Josh Drew, correct? And was there anyone else there?
Yeah, the two locksmiths.
Okay. So
And also in the apartment, for a fleeting second, person went walking by and who seemed to me looked like it was Raquel Pennington, but it could have been another friend that was supposedly staying with him.
okay, so you saw somebody come by. So how many?
No, go through the living room and then they're out of the picture because they went upstairs. So
And she
they're
shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Now she's getting her penance.
Was in that room and walking by.
Okay.
This is why you think before you do something.
You talked to Josh. What did Josh tell you?
You don't sleep around.
Mom.
Josh Drew, he took you to the side. What did he tell you?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay. I'll sustain the objection.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
This is why I say.
Mom.
With
This is
Josh
why I say
Drew,
no to Daryl when he wanted to do it earlier.
what, if anything, had been said about what Mr. Depp did the night before?
Objection to the extent it calls for hearsay. Your Honor. Hearsay.
Okay.
I'm
If you
asking
die
what, if
tonight, heaven or hell,
There's still.
tell him that gal sent you. The gal sent your regard. Their regard.
The cows send their regards.
As I was walking up the first time, she turned to me and said, Johnny came by last night and got violent. So I'm changing the locks on penthouse 1.
I should wear that.
3,
You're
and
not
5.
married.
Don't
Find
go
one that
without
says
the
boyfriend.
place.
Okay. Did you ask her for any more specifics on what
About
she meant by
changing
getting
locks?
violent?
Huh?
Did you ask her for any specifics about what she meant by he came by and got violent?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna jump you to the next day for a few, and then I'm gonna come back. But let's go to the next day. So the next day, you testified that you saw her twice, correct?
From Sunday? No. Monday I saw her once in the morning, but I want to
That's when
say
she came
around
by
12.
to ask if you had the key, or that you had the key for the house.
Right.
So cute.
And you weren't feeling well, right?
Adam looks good though.
Okay.
Yeah, he
So-
does.
He looks like he gained a little weight.
Yeah, he looks good. And so does Jennifer Aniston. God damn.
Well, I opened up the door and I'm holding the door. We're like 3 feet away from each other. Yeah.
And you told her you were sick, right?
Yeah.
Wait, go back up.
Do you know where she was going out someplace, correct?
She was going somewhere.
Right.
You can always depend on Matthew Perry to give you a
Do you
good
know
face.
whether she had applied any chemicals to her face?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any concealer to her face that morning?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any foundation that morning?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any tint that morning?
No.
Do you know whether she had applied any powder that morning?
No.
Now, the next
I
day.
can tell you, she looked like she wasn't wearing any makeup.
Right, and would you agree that people who are models and
No.
actors can be pretty darn good with putting makeup on so that you can't tell they're wearing makeup?
Objection, Your Honor.
Wait, yes, I can. Alice in Wonderland.
I think that's.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I'll stay as a speculation.
Benny and
Do you
June.
have any knowledge of the skills?
What's eating Gilbert Grape?
of putting on makeup?
Well,
Sweeney
it can't
Todd.
be that good because she's got a friend who is a makeup
I want a
artist
shirt.
who came over to do makeup, but I
Judy.
don't really know.
I want a shirt.
It's
Right,
cute.
and that makeup artist that comes over does it when she's going to be on some show or in some big public event, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that
Beef
makeup
like
person,
Dean.
you're talking about Melanie Iglesias, right? That
Right, yeah,
makeup-
yeah, exactly.
And that
Oh
makeup
my
person
god, her daughter
doesn't
looks
put
so much
on
like her.
makeup
I know
on.
exactly.
I wouldn't know.
How many times did you see Melanie Iglesias put makeup on him?
One time.
Okay,
It's just one time.
okay. So she wasn't living at Amber's house, right?
No. I hung out with her and
Talk about age.
and Johnny and
Thank God it's not coming back.
And over there one
The
time
80s are coming
eating,
back.
But the
and then
fashion?
another time.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's what's coming back. The fashion.
Yeah,
Because people started doing the
seeing
scrunchies
the
again.
makeup for these guys.
What? That dress looks beautiful.
That one's
You're
pretty.
not saying that Amber doesn't.
Those
know how
dresses
to
look
put makeup
beautiful.
on
What the fuck is wrong with?
herself,
Okay, now those are ugly.
I'm sure she does.
right? But
I
again,
would think she
Aye.
does, But for the most, I'll tell you what, over 3.5 years, living
Nice.
around each other.
Actually,
for
half
the
these
most-
dresses
for the
aren't
most
bad.
part, she's not a makeup wearing.
But those
person.
ones, yeah.
Completely natural,
They look like tinfoil.
Rocky, total gray complexion, Texas natural girl next door,
Let me see mine.
no makeup wearing, hanging out.
did Amber ever tell you she was not wearing makeup?
Did she ever tell me?
In any of those 3.5 years that you're saying she wasn't wearing it around the house, did she ever say, I don't have a stitch of makeup on?
As many times as she's told me I am wearing makeup, which is, I can't remember. So I don't know. Yeah, no. There's not one time I remember that. Her saying that.
Okay, so now let's go to the next day. I think that's the
Free
day
fries.
2 times that you saw her. She's with other people.
Yeah.
And she's either going out or coming in, correct?
Well, first time they're coming in, and the second time they're going out.
So they've been out someplace before they're coming in, correct? Objection, Your Honor. Foundation.
Mm.
I'll allow it. So you can answer the question, sir.
Oh, I have no clue.
Okay, but they're physically entering the house. In other words, they haven't been in the house, they're coming to the house from someplace, right?
Oh, I would have no
Oh,
idea. When
no,
I
saber
walked out,
tooth.
Who knows? They might have been out and twice before that, but I don't know. They could be coming from another apartment.
Wait, go back up.
Coming, to go there.
Woo!
Seeing them, it could be the second time that they're entering this apartment, or the first
Ooh, that's
time,
nice.
the third time. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
And do you know?
Let's scare the shit out of our
Wait,
little
go
girl.
back to the caption. I think she's playing the new mic.
Let's scare the little shitter. She'll be shitting her pants tonight and not being able to sleep.
And then the
Mommy,
last one,
there's zombies in my closet.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna kill you.
Whether Amber had any amicus.
You scared my child.
I don't know.
And I'll try to make this faster. Do you know whether Amber was wearing concealer, foundation, powder, or tint that day?
I don't know.
Okay. Now, the next day, I think you said it was she and Whitney, is that correct?
On Wednesday, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And again, do you know whether
Nice.
she was wearing any amicus?
See, they noticed he was smiling.
I got the picture.
Sorry.
I've been smiling.
No.
And do you know whether she was wearing concealer, foundation, powder, or tint? Okay. Can you tell me what Amber's hairstyle was on the 23rd?
That's Monday.
Alex,
Like I
nice.
said, when she knocks on my door, hair's gone.
Okay. Can you tell me what she was wearing that day?
Not exactly, but if best of my recollection, a pair of dungarees, and a t-shirt. At the time when she knocked
But I
on my
won't.
door to give me the key, if she went home to go change or something like that, I got no clue.
Do you remember what color?
Ooh, Annie Buck.
It might have been one. Best of my recollection.
Do you remember what jewelry? Okay, let's go to the next day, the Wednesday, and you've got all these people there.
Next day is Tuesday.
Okay, next day, Tuesday, is when you had a bunch of people coming together to her house the first time, right?
Right.
What was she wearing then?
You want to know something? I do remember.
Well, she was taking a bath. He decided to say, hey, will you marry me?
Long coat. Kind of like a woman's, not a raincoat, but it could be similar to that. It's a beige, long, kind of looking like a business coat type of thing. The female version of the Colombo jacket.
Okay, what was she wearing under it?
Oh, I have no clue.
Okay. And do you remember what you were
Yes.
No.
Ooh, that's
No,
super.
on the 22nd.
Rouse and Nutley? Oh
No,
my God,
that-
no!
That reminded me of the pizza from Pizza Land that I had that one day.
That looks burnt as hell.
And cold.
Right, and then the next time.
The cheese is not supposed to be burnt to the crust.
Yeah.
What's your typical way?
Men who never listen. I want to see if there's a deal.
I'm not understanding
Nah, damn
any
it.
of what
Nope.
you just did.
Okay, so when you, well, I'll just leave it at Amber. When you, I take it
Supposed to
that
be
you
no.
regularly kiss Amber on the cheek when you used to say hello and to say
Oh, yeah.
goodbye?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And tell us how you did that. Could you just show us how you did that?
Which time regularly?
Did you have a different way of?
Holy
kissing on your cheek
God.
sometimes? Or did you have a?
He looks
general way that
nice.
you would greet or say goodbye to Amber with kisses?
Regular to regular, you give a peck on the cheek, like you just touch cheeks and
Okay.
that's that.
So it's a pretty soft, it's kind of like almost a superficial one, or is it a really hard one on the cheek?
Fuck you, bitch!
It's, you kiss someone on the side of the cheek. I don't know, pressure-wise, what kind of talk?
After getting out of her conservatorship, she is now able.
Is it one of these little pecks, or is it much harder?
Oh,
She-
she
She finally got what she wanted!
So you think it was pretty hard? You peck her on the cheek pretty hard?
Smirks as Amber looks because he's
He's obsessed with Yama's. Yeah, right.
right.
He's laughing. He's like, yeah, right.
No, I'm not European. I'm from Brooklyn.
No.
Even I would say you're right. Who's obsessed?
Both sides. Sometimes even three.
Oh, fuck you, bitch!
He's not a good guy.
That's not the reason why they banned you.
They banned you because you're looking more like a guy than a girl.
And two, you're a brat.
Exactly. They don't want to deal with an annoying girl who's looking like a boy each and every single day.
No, Mom, there's nothing wrong with looking like that.
Okay.
If you're a girl.
Then chop your breasts and put on a dick.
I would say the first 3 weeks.
If you're gonna look like a guy, have the equipment.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
All right? And she has more money than guys. She can do that.
No.
Okay.
Well,
So,
she doesn't have
you
breasts
saw
yet.
Whitney and Amber. Was there anyone with them?
Then she needs to go for a corrective
You
surgery
already
downstairs.
did
Long jackets. Yes, actually I do. Long jackets.
There's two
Wait.
jet.
Wait, go back up. Go back up. Miley Cyrus is more. Everybody is splitting. And it's people who are splitting from bad people.
Exactly.
Flip back or whatever. Not tie back. I don't remember if it was tie back, but just where it's full. Full. That I remember.
So now where were they standing when you watched this?
This is where would they stand?
Yes.
Ooh.
They're standing, waiting
That's cool.
for one of the elevators on the mezzanine floor, where there's, I guess you could say that there's cameras that, has that view of the elevators on the mezzanine floor.
So the mezzanine level.
Yeah, this is the same level. This is the same level. There's apartments on that level. And that's how the exit, how you get out to go to the garage.
Oh my.
And so were they coming back from the garage?
Let me feel.
No, I'm.
Well, if they're
No, it's my
standing
hand.
on the
Oh,
head.
I
outside,
thought you said head.
then
No, I'm
it
getting sharp pain in
could
my
be-
palm.
And waiting to get into the elevator on that floor. So it could be that maybe they came from outside, maybe they know somebody who lives on that floor, because there's apartments there. I got no clue where they're coming from. That's not even in the thought process. When I see this, it's not like, well, I wonder where they're coming from. No, it's
Okay.
just
So now,
what I saw.
tell me where they were each standing.
As I'm watching the video, this tape, Amber's on the left, and Whitney's on the right.
Okay? And then
Hey, my foot.
tell me, just take us through, tell me what you saw.
Amber's on the left.
I have to say, that's your
Whitney's
glamour
on the
shot.
right. They're hanging out. Can I stand up?
Yes, sir.
I didn't jump
And
you in
then
your house.
Amber was waiting for the elevator. And Whitney
Can I
just-
pass
they
out?
looking at each other, yeah.
You had enough of
Whitney
giving mom the
just-
pain in the ass.
But I did my job.
And then they both start laughing, and then they just stand
You know when you're holding me like this, normally if you hold a baby like that, they'll wake up and cry.
Whitney's
No.
fist get to
You were out.
Well, I'm watching this. It's a fake thing. It's not
Right,
that
right.
she went and she hit her
No,
own
no, no.
sister.
No, but I'm
She didn't
asking
go
how
and hit
close.
her. She just,
Oh, that face I'm behind.
She's like, you're like, get the hell away from us.
No, I look high. Did anybody give me any drugs? I look high in these two
Just
pictures.
make him believe. It's a believe punch.
Okay. And then they both left, you said.
Yeah, they both kind of,
I did not like Pam, apparently.
Did you watch them get on the elevator?
And I didn't want you having her home
So the part that you saw, the elevator never opened during that.
a month.
That's right. That is correct.
And how many seconds did you say or minutes did you say this clip was?
What I saw was.
That you would see in a horror film.
15
Yeah, George
seconds.
coming like that. Yes.
And
With an
do
axe.
you recall what day that was?
Oh my god, the way I was sleeping
No,
like
no.
this.
Was there a date on this?
You were soaring.
If there was, it wasn't.
Let's go with it.
No!
Okay, great. All right, now let's go back to the argument that you witnessed between Mr. Depp and actually Ms. Heard, who was on the phone with the speaker.
Who the hell is Lucy?
It's someone
Say
from the
this
Bible
again.
thing that I was
Let's go
doing.
back to, you testified that you.
You were there like, come on, let me see. Come here, say that to my face.
Was it tough bitch even
Yeah.
back then?
You were on speakerphone. Do you recall that? Okay, Mr.
I
Depp
did
was drunk.
not like the Redskins, apparently,
Okay.
at
No.
the time.
Do you recall that Amber was actually in London, not New York?
Apparently I fell asleep while holding the seatbelt.
You don't recall that?
You were
No, I
eating
thought
the
it's- I
seatbelt.
think- I thought it was she was
I'm
in New York.
eating it.
Okay. And you recall that Mr. Depp was accusing Amber of sleeping with someone.
I love the face I
There was
have on
somebody
here.
else in the room.
You're like,
with her,
God, please.
and that's-
just end
that's- and that's what they were arguing about.
Are you sure that Mr. Depp wasn't thinking there was someone in the room and she was trying
I
to tell
love the
him
way it's
there
sleeping
wasn't
here. It's
somebody
like,
in the room?
We just nodded off.
Say that again?
Are you sure he wasn't saying someone was in the room and she was trying to convince him there wasn't anybody in the room?
Well, he said that he heard the voice.
Okay, and did you hear the voice?
Oh, no.
Yeah, you were
I
like,
walked in
Tam-
already.
yeah, Tammy, do not take another picture.
No, it's
Right, Amber saying,
No, it's
why
like-
are you saying that? Right?
What did you say about me?
Amber was saying, come on, baby, why are you doing like this? What are you doing? Come on, Johnny. It's only, why are you being like this?
Right.
And it was taunting.
How is it taunting to say, why are you accusing me of having somebody in my room?
Because they were in the midst of no solution. At that point, it would be if instead of taunting, saying, "Listen, John,
how do you get a
let's
baby to do
talk
that?
tomorrow, and let's end this conversation right now,
Those people were good.
and we'll talk tomorrow, and we'll get to an understanding." There's not going to be any solution right now, but there was none of that.
Oh, I was suspicious of you
Oh, baby.
in this picture.
Oh, baby.
So,
And that kept it going.
From the face, it looked like I was
yeah.
thinking you were doing something.
Was suffering from delusions and thought he really was and wasn't. Do you think it would have been reasonable for Amber to be saying, what's going on? Why are you saying this?
Oh, I
What's
had
going
a
on?
laughing
They're touching on
until Tammy pinched my cheek, and I'm like,
Bitch.
you can see I was laughing in these last two pictures, then pinched cheek, and then it's like,
It would be what?
Fuck you, bitch.
and Tammy even looked at me like, why aren't you laughing? And I'm gonna be like, you pinched my cheek.
Would it be reasonable?
Oh, so I
for
did
Amber
meet him,
to be
but I
trying
don't
to figure out
remember.
what's going on?
Apparently, I hated Winnie the Pooh as well.
No, you didn't like the stuff on the nose. You start crying and like that when I put the black bean on the nose.
Yeah, I think you were going a little too far.
Or whether there was any voices, correct?
Whether you heard voices.
Seriously, that place must have been louder than hell, and I was passed out.
And then after the hangout, he went straight to
With
bed.
book
right?
behind me.
No,
Calendar.
after the
Oh,
first
with
hangout,
calendar.
she calls back again.
Oh, that must be comfortable.
It wasn't necessary, I don't know.
Do
And
you
then
know
a third
whether she
time,
knew? Do you
And that
know
proved
whether
that
she knew whether he
You weren't like
accidentally
any other baby.
hung up
Most
or
babies at that age can't hold their own bottle.
that he accidentally hung up.
not? Right, do you know whether she knew whether he hung up intentionally or accidentally?
No, I did say the same way that I wouldn't know if, like, yeah, she didn't know that the telephone line got cut.
You said, fuck this, I'm holding my own.
So after the 3 calls that you testified.
See, I did have that right here.
Went to the couch and lay down.
And he was gone.
I just
And
missed the
went
pillow.
to sleep. Yeah, he went out.
Do you know whether he took any drugs?
No.
Now, you have known, you've already testified, you've known him for 42 years.
And this was my first introduction to video games.
No,
I said it like you.
Okay, and then after you finished at the pump
Was my
house,
first introduction to video games.
Is that game you?
I live in one of his house that he owns on Sweet Tree.
and you still live there,
Yes,
and rent free, correct?
yes.
In this picture, is probably I'm probably like, yeah, look at my ass.
You never paid that back, right? $100,000.
No, that's not. That's a thing that's a thing for me when I
did like
how I
taking
look at it,
pictures.
so at some point I would love to.
This one I was probably trying to say
pay
hi.
back, some that money, but that's not something that is expected. It's he's expected.
Would you say you're kind of beholden to Mr. Depp?
Not beholden at all.
He's giving you $100,000, he's put you in that nice.
You couldn't have given me a PJ that fit.
I didn't get the whole question. So you-
You stepped on the PJ as I was freaking taking the picture. The snap snapped.
That's nice.
And you, I think you testified already, you're pretty angry with Ms. Heard, right?
When?
I wrote it down.
What?
Oh,
Why do I have a face like this?
About
Because
the
you thought
phone
camera
that
smashing.
kids that would take
Pretending.
And I was like,
and about the fake
Yeah.
narrative and
It's like you
about
just said
and the way she's trying to have
half these pictures are like, I hate you. What are you doing?
A man.
Chocolate and awesome.
I'm chuckle wasted.
And she's like, and I'm gonna be like, bitch, you for real?
Yes. Which is why I said the best thing for us to do is not to talk.
Seriously, my face feels smiling.
Yes.
Was it fair to say you're still angry with him?
Oh, you know something? It's 6 years.
I was looking at Maddie with deep hatred.
I'm not.
But seriously, that is not a face of happiness. That is a face of I'm going to kill this.
You gotta kill this little asshole.
So many people.
I was like, why aren't you paying attention to me?
By this malicious lie that she started and she created, and it's gone out the door and around the world, and so I can't even sleep anymore.
I was probably yawning here.
Yeah, and saying, Grandma, I'm bored.
Affected by
And this is the first time I ever listened to music.
And
And I'm like, whoa, what is this?
I want the best for her to take her responsibility.
Apparently grabbed
heal,
photo.
And move on. Move on. And for Johnny, you know, his family has been completely wrecked by all of this stuff. And it's not fair. It's not right.
He's
What she did.
about tears on his heart for Johnny.
For so many people to get affected from this. It's
Sour clean.
insane.
Look at him. He's about crying for him because of fucking Amber.
And if in fact, Mr. Depp, who has engaged in enormous rage and domestic abuse and violence of Amber over a period of time that you wouldn't know about, then maybe it's time for him to take responsibility, don't you think? Objection, no. Speculation.
Donnie is not a bad guy.
Speculations.
Yesterday was Deer Park and Fiji. Now it's freaking Smart Water.
I didn't ask the question, but don't answer that. I'm going to sustain the objection. Okay, you don't, I'll ask this. Mr. Roach, you don't know whether Mr. Depp has committed domestic violence of Amber Heard, do you?
I've never witnessed. I never saw or witnessed whatever type of claim that is being said. Ever. I've never seen him be violent. Since teenagers.
You know him that long.
I said you don't know whether he has committed domestic
That's his
violence
best
against
friend.
Amber Heard. Isn't that correct?
And he knows he is way better than
I've
that.
not witnessed
He knows Johnny.
physical violence.
So you have seen Mr. Depp use drugs as well as drink and be drunk, correct?
Oh yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with being drunk.
But there is something wrong with doing drugs.
Let's pick up on it.
There's saying drugs as in cocaine, weed, and shit.
But they're still saying you did see him use drugs, and he's
I
like,
think I
yeah.
can finish it up if you
Okay,
give me
sure,
5 or
sure.
10 more minutes.
The drugs that
Maybe not.
he's thinking of is a prescription. Even his sister tried to.
But he just
keep that clear.
He just encrypted his friends because he didn't know that they meant heroin or crack.
Yeah, I just
The thing is, they kept trying to put cocaine
So
in
on this diagram.
his system when he didn't have that in his system.
It was between 9:30 and 10 that you came back with your friend, correct?
The sister said he only had prescription pain pills.
5 minutes one way, 5 minutes the other way. Could have been just
Saying it was between 9 and 9, or between 9:30 and 10:30?
today.
No.
There is a good.
Do you recall Do you recall, are you sure it was 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, or could it have been between 9:30 and 10?
It was 9:30, give or take 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes either way.
And you saw a broken sconce.
No, I did not see a broken sconce.
What did you see?
I saw a broken glass on the floor, shards of glass, pieces of glass, which
See how they're trying to put words in his
could have
mouth.
been a broken
And he said
sconce,
no.
or possibly.
You know what I'm saying?
The
Amber Heard's
person from,
side
Lawyer's trying to put words in his mouth, even though he's stopping them right there.
Exactly.
Saying, don't put words in my mouth. I'm speaking from my own. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Was there typically a sconce right there as you come off the elevator?
Yeah, from my memory, there was sconces on the wall some places.
Do you remember looking that night and saying, where did this glass come from? There's a broken one. Did you tie it together?
No, it wasn't. It was assumption.
Biden is in the White House.
Because what the glass looked like to me looked like it might have come from one of those places. Could have been.
I think that's an old
maybe
article.
sconce.
That has to
You
be.
said from the fire thing. Were you talking about the fire extinguisher?
No, not the fire extinguisher. There was in the hallway, first hallway that you go through, the doors that you walk through after you get out of the elevator. Those doors, the fire doors that you close. All right, hopefully no one gets burned to death. That was it's crazy. But then along the wall, I believe by the staircase, because there's a door that's next to penthouse 5, then there's the doorway, the stairwell door, and I believe there's a
Detection.
Your daughter, so I'll never detach.
Glass plastic thing.
I can see what you're doing.
So it could have been something from that.
Ow.
All right, yes, ma'am.
Remember, who's the strong one?
Counselor.
My wrist.
Sorry.
Just wait for a question, sir.
I asked you.
Not even a play.
You were sure that it was 9:30, give or take 5 minutes worth. It could have been somewhere between 9:30 and 10. Do you recall me asking that question?
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask. Take a look. At page.
And I'm only using 5% of my real power.
Oh, from down in Anaheim?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
remember
win.
that.
And we were
Yep.
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah, like between 2 and 3
That
years.
comes the wrist.
Alright, so if you could take a look starting at page.
That was the wrist that cracked.
Hang on a second.
Holy shit. We were going too fast.
Ow.
And if you go to the line 21, where were you on the evening of May 29, 2016? And your answer was all right. So I was out in the street.
You want me to kick your girlfriend's butt?
I wanted to go out and eat. And I said, I just ate, just meet me, let's meet at the apartment, let's go hang out. So I met him at my apartment.
If you say, yeah, I'll kick your ass.
A little bit later, I don't know, yeah.
You'll be on my good side.
You see that?
No, you won't.
Yeah, you will.
No, he 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 won't.
Yes.
Nope,
yes,
I
yes.
know you better than anyone. No, he won't.
Yeah, you will.
No, he won't. Stop lying in front of the camera.
I go
You want me
with
to?
9:30.
I'm kicking your ass on Tuesday. Just you wait. Remember, I took down my mom. I can take you down as well.
And I said that you saw a lot of wine right outside of.
Wait a second. 1:50.
See?
Sorry. The exhibit that's in front of you. on
What's the
screen.
computer?
So you
See?
go by
Took her down.
Penthouse.
This will be you.
So you see penthouse 1 there, and you said that the wine was in that area, right?
Wait, that. Pillow. Look at it. My leg.
North, closer on the way to PH3?
No.
Gross.
Lock the ring. Lock the ring.
I'm not touching the ring.
It's just in front of that doorway.
You put it down exactly where it was.
Okay, I'm running out of energy here.
That means I'm winning more.
Get off! Get off, Lord ass!
How much wine was there?
I win.
Uh,
Puddle of wine.
can't breathe.
Thanks for the workout.
Ow. Ow.
Could you tell a little bit about how much probably had been spilled in the wine? I mean, we're talking like a half a bottle,
It looked like, a couple of glasses of
Really?
uh,
Really?
I kicked your ass.
Bottle.
That's because I let you.
No, you didn't.
No, yes, you did.
Okay.
Want to go again, Missy?
I think that
Not on the bed.
a little bit longer than a couple of minutes.
You know you're gonna live on the floor.
No, I won't.
Okay, then can we pick up, well, it's gonna be plaintiff's exhibit 548. Now, do you have a recollection of Mr. Depp having a volatile relationship with his
Ew.
earlier
But
partner?
hot
in this
dogs and
affair?
cheese moves today.
No, but then again, wasn't.
Unless we mix them
I
together.
met her a couple of times.
We do have that hot dog.
I wasn't. We weren't.
I want to make
Our
that.
paths weren't crossing. At
We
that
haven't had that in a long time. We never mix it.
All right, do you
Sure.
recall Mr. Depp ever referring to
But you're gonna have to make it.
a circumstance with her? as
You're cutting.
carnage?
Sure, no problem.
Mr. Robbins, we're talking, he's trying to give character tests.
I mean, we'll add a little. If he doesn't want the hot dog, we can make him his own set. You know what I'm saying?
Ms. Heard were,
You know what I'm saying with the chili?
Oh, well, more for us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you ever remember Mr. Depp referring to Amber with the term cunt?
Like to her face.
No, to you, calling her a cunt to you.
Maybe in a text.
Johnny, why?
Oh,
Yeah, he calls her probably a cunt because of all the.
Yeah, but you do not call a woman a cunt. That's just going too far. Even if you hate a
I
person.
mean, it could be.
I mean, my mom's a cunt.
Yeah, you never say that.
If there's something specific.
My sister's a
you
cunt.
could Show me.
Stop saying it. You're going too far.
Story.
Cunt.
You know, we've had
You're
many
demeaning to
texts,
women everywhere.
Many
Okay, let's go to line 57.
3 hours!
Section 57 of the exhibit.
That's how long this has been on.
Now, this is a text message.
He's been
between you
on all
and Mr.
day.
Depp. Do you see that? You go down to 50, go to the one that's numbered 57.
Man, I'm tired today.
This is from me to him.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I wanted to get back to you.
I thought this was just yours. You weren't gonna give this to me.
No, it was. I just forgot. Stop whistling already. Damn.
It's wind. It was supposed to be 70 degrees outside.
Damn, talk about windy.
Got windy fast. Did it sound like a mute?
No, no one's talking. That's why.
I still think Johnny's a god. I mean, look at that face. Who wouldn't want to marry that face? Who would want to call that guy an abuser? With that kind of face, that bound and abused in his body.
Are you on 57? Yeah,
57.
right. And this is to you, correct, from Mr. Depp?
Is that how it's, it says from to 323-445-2400? That used to be my telephone number, so.
That's two, correct?
Oh, okay, I understand.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. And
That's to me.
all right, and the message he's sending to you, and this is October 18, 2016, is hopefully that
Objection, Your Honor. The exhibit's not in evidence, and she's reading directly from it into the record.
all right, does this refresh your recollection that Mr. Depp referred to Amber Heard as a cunt, and in fact, rotting
I would have
cunts,
referred to her
rotting
as that.
corpse is
I mean,
decomposing?
if it does go against the
State
wind moral
objection.
code.
I'll ask it differently. Do you recall Mr. Depp ever telling you that he, in base terms, hoped that Amber's rotting corpse is decomposing
Objection.
in the trunk of a Honda Civic?
I would have said it.
Yeah, not really. But not as graphic, but yeah. Everyone feels like that about her.
Do you
She gives off that vibe.
ever telling you that he hoped that Amber Heard's rotting corpse is decomposing in the fucking trunk of a Honda Civic?
Yeah, I would have said that.
Too.
I wouldn't blame him.
Lots of questions.
I don't believe. I believe Johnny said that because seriously, after what she put him through, fuck yeah, I would say the same thing about that bitch.
And go to 59, please.
And I'm not really a violent person, but I would say go to hell, sister.
I know.
And when you had to move out of penthouse to go to Sweetser, do you recall Mr. Depp telling you
That's creepy.
this was Amber's fault and referring to her as a cunt?
Babe, that's creepy.
Can I read this
Yes,
thing
please.
first?
Yes, please.
You are not at the house because Zara would know. Being the stalker much?
This isn't funny.
So now, I just read this and I remember this exactly, because this is the period of time, I'm moving, and that he's selling the apartments, and there's people.
Being a stalker much?
I'm still living there. and
Mom, you're
it would be
making him
better
laugh.
If
So?
I moved out, so that way then the real
I
estate
don't
people
care.
can
It's
look at it, and I'll
creepy.
come in and look at the kind of paintings that I make and all that kind of crap.
But my question to you is, do you recall Mr. Depp calling Amber Heard a cunt and saying that it was her fault?
Well, it's written there, so yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
Well, I don't. That's not what he says. He says that cunt ruling such a fucking cool life we had for a while. I don't know. That's
And he
not
says, I can't even look at the building anymore, correct?
right. Can't even
Right.
look at the
And
building
he's selling
anymore.
it, right?
Exactly.
He's brokenhearted. He's pissed off at her.
But
Because
that can be
he-
used against him and make him seem like the abuser.
Which he's not. He's just pissed off at the woman
Significant exhibit, there's definitely some hearsay in there. I think, I'll reserve.
for
that.
using him and abusing him.
Yeah, but they're gonna use that against him. When you call a woman a cunt, and a person admits to that, and they're being accused of abuse,
I'm not gonna-
you
I'm
can
not- I'm
think that they're gonna
reserving.
use their damnedest
Are we
to
done with?
say, "Hey,
Okay, redirect briefly.
he could be a woman
We're gonna be
abuser,
going for lunch. Okay, there you go.
so he should step up for his actions." There will be no justice for Johnny because he just got fucked in that one statement.
I was just asking you some questions about some text messages you received from Mr. Depp.
Yeah.
Do you recall when those text messages were sent?
No, I'd have to look at them again and look at the date.
Could you explain to the witness?
Let's see.
I believe we looked at lines 59. Excuse me, 57. You see the date of when you received that text message?
The month before I moved out. Okay,
When was that text message sent?
it says 10/18/2016. That's October. I moved out the next month, so in November. So this is from October.
So was that message sent several months after Ms. Heard made claims against Mr. Depp of domestic violence?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I'll allow it.
yes, of course. This is after this whole fiasco that she started.
And if we look at line 61, what's the date on that message?
10/28 October.
We can take that down. Mr. Breach, Ms. Bredehoff asked you a series of questions about the security video from the Eastern Columbia building that you observed. Do you recall that?
Yeah, the power.
When did you understand that footage was from?
I'll sustain it, ask the answer.
Did you have an understanding at the time that you saw that video of when it was from?
I'll sustain it.
Ms. Bredehoff also asked you a series of questions about the argument that you overheard between Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp on the phone. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And you could hear Ms. Heard's voice on that phone, right?
Yeah.
Do you recall if that was a FaceTime call or if it was just regular speakerphone?
Just speaker.
And what did you understand her tone to be on that call that you overheard?
I'll allow it. Yes.
Taunting, egging on, almost demeanoring the baby talk.
Yeah, I'll sustain the objection as to his answer.
The full answer?
The answer, yes.
I believe you testified that Mr. Depp hung up the phone during that conversation. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
Did you understand that Mr. Depp was trying to end the argument by hanging up the phone?
His understanding of what Mr. Depp was doing. I sustain. That's kind of speculation.
Right, he heard the phone call and he was there to directly
But
observe.
what Johnny Depp's intention was, I sustain.
I know what my intent
Sir,
was.
okay, thank you. Wait for the question. Thank you, sir.
What was your understanding of your intent with respect to hanging up the phone on that
Objection.
conversation.
He already asked and answered, and he said he hung it up. And so it was asked and answered, state objection. Next question.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness subject to recall?
Possibly, Your Honor.
There's silence, okay, so yes or no, or not for you, not from you?
Yes,
All
yes,
All
correct.
right, sir, since you're subject to recall, that means that you may be called again to testify at some point. So that means until that time, the rule on witnesses still is in place for you, so you cannot have any outside information or talk to anybody about your testimony here today, and don't look at any information about this on the news, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir, you're free to go at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so,
Johnny is fucked.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take our afternoon lunch. We'll give you till 2:30 to take care of lunch again, no outside information, and please don't discuss this case, okay? All right, thank you, good lunch.
So sorry, Johnny, but you're fucked. This is looking so good for him after work, but no, it's just a week.
Okay, so we'll come back at 2:30 then? Thank you.
She's all cold. Ding dong, Cindy sleeps, Cindy sleeps. No, when she awake. Oh, how she's snoring. Won't the king ever shut up? Keeping us all the way. Ding dong, ding dong. This is the sound of her snoring.
Fuck off.
Go to sleep in your bed. Go to sleep in your bed. Go to sleep in your bed. Why not?
One thing I want to hear more about Johnny and Amber, and two, well, I just like being near you.
You just want to be a pain in the ass.
And three, I am comfortable.
I'll call him Daddy. Make sure see what he's doing about that entertainment center.
No. Okay, I'll leave.
I'm playing with you. Little peasant.
I love you.
You're annoying.
You're annoying too. Where do you think I get it from?
Kiss my ass.
I'm your daughter. Where do you think I came from?
Not my ass. Even though you're a pain in the ass.
That's how I got my nickname. Pain in the ass. I was a pain in your ass when you were giving birth to me. Sorry.
I don't have the fucking thing yet. I'm so bored. We'll be back when it comes back on at 2:30.